request some slight tribulations due to excessive launches. Yes, we are still working with done-for-you clients. We're not full-time info coaches. It's been in the works. My main man, Julius, of course, bio of media on Twitter, where he's, of course, more known for. But yeah, Julius, man, kind of give us a brief overview or background of what you do. Because I understand, right, on Twitter, we've kind of got that bio, but people don't understand the ins and outs of what you do. If you could just give the guys some detail there, that'd be amazing.
Yes. All right. What's up, everyone? My name is Julius. If you guys don't know, if you guys didn't watch the Ryan podcast, I am a direct response marketer, copywriter, ad guy. I build landing pages. I do email. I do all the stuff. Year to date, I believe if I've tracked it correctly, actually, I think it's a little bit more now. I've generated around $15 million in revenue online in a variety of different niches. Right now, my focus is in info and high ticket coaching, etc. All roads lead to Rome. But before then, I was a SaaS marketer, growth marketer. I worked for 9-figure companies, officially, properly as a job. I worked for, I had my own e-com brand, had my own clothing brand. I consulted with big e-commerce companies. I ran creative strategy, copywriting, all that stuff on that side as well. Now I'm more focused on info. Now I'm more focused on scaling offers in anywhere from real estate to investing to, mass market biz op, to some other, a bit more obscure niches as well. And so my whole thing is I run ads, I run them profitably. That is basically the entirety of what I do. I hope those are a good intro.
Wonderful. That was a spectacular intro. Now, of course, we're going into conversion mechanisms, funnels, and what you're actually implementing for these clients, right? But
yes,
you mentioned, of course, the main goal is converting cold customers, right, into paying clients, right?
Yes.
How are you doing it? Does the conversion mechanism depend on the client and the industry? Or how do you finalize upon that one conversion mechanism?
Yeah. So right now, I actually posted a comment as a reply to someone. They're asking me the same thing, hey, what mechanism are you seeing working the best? I've done them all. The one thing that I haven't done as in depth as I would have liked to is a low ticket ascension funnel with optimizing for AOV, all that stuff. I was in an offer where I was consulting on just purely front end ads, all that stuff. I was consulting there, but I didn't get to get into the AOV contribution max and all that stuff, adjusting the offer, split testing, pricing, all that stuff. It's one thing I haven't gotten in depth, but everything else I have done them. Oh, and besides challenges as well. That is a mechanism that I want to get into as well. But I have been reverting back, honestly, to the tried and true. I did webinars for a while. I did this kind of nurturing funnel for a while. I don't know if you guys know Nick Setting, where it's the profile funnel, and it's a bunch of just cold broad ads, and you create retargeting audiences based off of hold rates, all that stuff. I was doing that. I did a lot of opt-in funnels where it take a long nurturing journey, etc. It does absolutely depend on the client. It depends on the vertical. It depends on the offer. So if I have for example, I'm working with a B2B client right now, where it's just direct service. I'm pretty much always, and the offer is optimized for cold traffic. I'm book a call funnel, nothing else. I don't do that first, get that down, and then let's explore other things, right?
Mm-hmm.
If it's info, especially B2C, genuinely, right now my 2 highest performing funnels are also literally VSL DTA funnels, where it's ad direct to an application page. Nothing is gated, nothing is timed. Now, another conversion mechanism I'm testing right now with kind of a partner, kind of a side business coaching offer, is an opt-in funnel. So ad, opt-in funnel, get free thing, whatever. Next stage is a time down VSL, where it's wait, your access will unlock in 5 minutes, timer there, and then the VSL kind of that, and then after 5 minutes, it's the pitch to the Ascension offer. So direct pitch to the Ascension offer, right? And it's a bit different because I don't actually give them the free thing on that page. I give them the option to just, hey, if this does not interest you, the free thing's in your email, it's in your text, go there. They get added to a nurturing sequence. That has been performing exceptionally well right now, as well. Now the ad spend is low. It's like 300, 400 a day. So it's not super high scale, but that has been performing exceptionally well. Webinars, of course, I've done those. The thing with webinars that I've noticed is, one, if one thing breaks, goodbye. There goes your whole week's You send the wrong, like you send the wrong link, or the link doesn't send, right? Like, and especially if you're oh my god, especially if you're doing direct to cart. I haven't been able to extensively split test the results between within the same offer, because I was in one also real estate offer where it's just direct to cart, direct to checkout on the webinar. Performed really well. I never got to split test a book a call, but then I have another webinar in another vertical that is book a call. So after the webinar, and they both performed exceptionally well. My thing is, one, your backend ops has to be absolutely dialed. Two, your spokesperson has to be so exceptionally charismatic in terms of how they deliver the message. The webinar format is like the one where the delivery is the most important, because you can reshoot a VSL, right? It's hard. You can't reshoot a live webinar, right? That's another thing. And then you just have to be really cracked at long form copy, to create the slides, right? They all work. That's the cool thing, is they all work. I don't even care if you're doing an AC funnel, a low ticket funnel, direct high ticket, opt-in, down stuff. It doesn't matter. It all works. If you have the principles in place, they all work. They all work.
It's one tweet I put out a while ago. It was kind of like, every conversion mechanism works. What doesn't work is your reactive mindset and jumpy mindset, expecting that success is going to be the next conversion mechanism. But it's not, right? It's about keeping consistent with that one conversion mechanism for prolonged periods of time, right? Now, I want to go back. You, of course, mentioned the DTA funnels, right? And like maximizing consumption, right? When you go from cold direct response ad to the direct application, right? Like the Typeform is, of course, embedded, I'm assuming, right?
Yes.
How do we maximize the consumption of the VSL to ensure that high quality lead is actually filling in the Typeform application?
So this is unpopular opinion. I don't. So I'm sure we're all people who are watching this. If you don't know who Jeremy Haynes is, look him up after watching this. But there's, he has this principle of back-end selling systems, right? And so in the case of the real estate VSL DTA funnel, right, is I know because I look at the heat maps, so I can see that there's a lot of people who actually click apply, go through the entire application process. They watch like 5 minutes of the VSL, right, or 3 minutes or whatever. I'm the kind of person, I like longer VSLs. I like 12 to 20 minutes. I really do. But to counteract that, what I have is I have a post-booking VSL. And I'm going to get into this because I've been like working on a new template that's working really, really well. But in that post-booking VSL, I essentially restate the core messaging elements that are in the front end VSL, and I just nurture them, and I really focus on overcoming obstacles that we know based off of sales call recording data are on the sales calls, right? And so I'm not just relying on the front end VSL consumption. I also have a VSL after. And then what I'll also have is I'll have like the confirmation video, right? And so there I'm building beliefs that I want to build, breaking beliefs that I want to break, overcoming obstacles, all that stuff. Sometimes if it's a very sophisticated market, what I'll have is I'll have a mechanism video. This is a separate video, right? This goes literally into exactly how this thing works step by step by step. Daniel Fazio is a big proponent of this, and he's absolutely correct. Then below that, what I'll have is I have something called strategic case studies. So let's take, for example, let's say I'm selling like a marketing offer, and I know that an objection or an obstacle on a call is like, hey, how much money do I have to spend on ads to even like get this thing to work? Like I don't have $1,000 a day in budget, right? And let's say my offer can still facilitate those people, right? I can still service those people. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a case study, and instead of doing what everyone else does, which is like an interview, like, hey, how much success are you, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm specifically going to speak to how this success story, this client, they did not have to spend this much money, right? Because whatever the mechanism of my thing, right? Because it is purpose built so that you can get an ROI if you're spending $50 a day, $100 a day, it doesn't matter. And so I reframe the mechanism, right, to overcome whatever obstacle it is, and I just attach a case study that validates, that proves it, right, that justifies it, right? And I do this for as many obstacles, as many objections as I think I'm going to have, because the thing nowadays is it's harder and harder to force consumption. That's just the reality. Like, I don't care if you have an opt-in funnel. I don't care if it's a timed up. People are going to leave. Like, literally just go into Vitalytics, look at your engagement graph. People leave either way. They're going to opt in without, they don't care. And so what we need is modular forms of information consumption. Not in one thing. I have text. By the way, like the confirmation stuff in the VSL, I put that as text on the page too, right? I have written FAQs alongside the videos, right? Every form and method of consumption. So people, if someone just wants to read, scroll down, click. Okay, cool. Does this work for XYZ industry, XYZ niche? Does it work if I'm making blah, blah, blah a month? Cool, they have that there. Right. So instead of trying to force the market to commit an action that I know like everyone's attention spans are cooked, instead of trying to fight that, I'm just going to use it. I'm just going to flow with that, with the stream. I'm just going to flow with it and give them modular consumption as much as I can. So yeah, I hope that answers that. I didn't go too much into a tangent.
Oh no, let's go in depth, man. Let's not gatekeep any elements, right? We're going to make this direct response mastery rich. Now, I believe Alonso Panic mentioned this beforehand, but like, of course, different people respond to different types of messages, right? Some are, of course, audit driven, some are visual driven. So you're essentially adapting to these different types of people and combining all the elements. Like, for example, right? When someone books a call with one of our clients, we've got that pre-call VSL, right? Some of those are like 45 minutes long, by the way. We're kind of re-educating them on the vehicle, demonstrating social proof, all these elements, right? But now, when they're on that page, we have a pre-call VSL, and then we've got FAQs that overcome key limitations and obstacles, right? But what we do, we only have the key headline, which is kind of like, let's say I'm targeting, I don't know, agency owners want to side clients, right? It could be, do I need a case study to see results, right? We would embed a Loom video overcoming that objection, but we've only got the Loom video for that consumption play. Is what you do beneath that embedded Loom video, do you also summarize that in like text format to kind of appeal to that customer as well?
Yes. Yep. So it's the way that I have it, like literally the design right now, exactly like what you're talking about. So I have so what I do is I have a thumbnail over the video. So I create a custom thumbnail with literally the question or the obstacle, objection, whatever that's handling first. They can click play. I have a little card nested under the video that just has text that literally just outlines, condenses the point of that video. And then as well, if they scroll down, there's an FAQ section that has like all that stuff as well, right? So it's both. It's literally video right there with the thumbnail of the thing so they can just select which ones they want to watch, little card with the text, and then the FAQ at the bottom with just raw text. Sometimes I'll go really long into the FAQs, and I'll have like, on average, I have 10 to 15 FAQs on my page, like literally like an FAQ card. So yeah, to answer your question, yes.
I like that. I like that. Yeah, like we're of course using similar principles there. You mentioned one thing as well. It would be interesting because you mentioned heat maps, right? We use Microsoft Clarity. Absolutely insane, right?
Yes.
Do you know the data on the differences between the people who consume with text to video? That'd be like an interesting kind of.
Okay. So I have on the post booking, it's literally because it's click. It's I can see it with the click, like the FAQ. The reason why I like it a lot is because I can literally show you like the click percentage, right? So like, okay, 30% of people clicked on this FAQ, or like it'll give you like a click number, right? 8, 10, 12, whatever. I can have, the problem is that when you embed something as an iframe on a page, Clarity does not have the ability to actually see that. It hides that element from you. And so it's really hard because like the videos, you have to click play, right? So I kind of have to go to Vidalytics. I host all my videos in Vidalytics. To go to Vidalytics and see, like, go to each individual video, what's my play rate on each of these, and just compare that, right? And so that's like, if I'm trying to see the percentage of people who click on certain videos, I have to literally just watch the play rate and unmute rate, right, on each of them, and then kind of combine the two to see, okay, 20 people clicked here, only 15 like clicked unmute on the VSL. It's kind of manual just because of that unfortunate reality, like you can't track an iframe with Clarity, which is the unfortunate part. But you can kind of get a little bit. You can kind of, you can kind of like MacGyver it together. So I have like looked at that. I have looked at it. I do have it on there.
Yeah. By the way, guys, Julius mentioned, if you're not using heat maps for your clients, you're losing out on like a bunch of money. Respectfully, we implement Microsoft Clarity on all our clients' funnels. It doesn't matter what conversion mechanism we use. No ticket extension, webinar funnel. It does not matter. You can pick up on specific drop points, and now you can see, okay, the drop off is happening on this point. I need to make a critical change to this part of the funnel, right? Critical gain. Now we have got talking points, right? But I want to walk over because it does seem like you're primarily selling high ticket coaching, right? That's like the main focus.
Yeah, like high ticket coaching info. Yeah, yes.
Okay, so apart from, of course, the VSL, right? We've got the prequel VSL that overcomes all the obstacles, hurdles, get them in the right headspace. We've got the FAQs, right? How
Yeah.
else do you maximize not only the shop rates, but also the right headspace of the customers when they attend their calls? And like, of course, ultimately increasing the close rates. Like, what systems do you implement?
Yeah. Okay. Do you want like the other backend besides just the VSL, or within the VSL specifically, or do you want both?
Oh, more value, right?
Okay. Okay. One thing that I did a holdout test. So ran traffic for a week, kept everything the same, which is very, very fucking difficult. And because we're having a show rate problem, kept everything the same, the traditional post booking VSL, etc. I just tested adding a new lead, so opening to a new post booking VSL, where within the first 5 minutes, my entire goal was to reframe their identity. And this was because our like closers do this. That's their entire job, is reframing identities and mind states, right? And so what I wanted to do was see, hey, can I just do that on the front end? Now, this is very specific for my offer. And if you're doing B2C, then use it. God, please use this. I literally, I'll have the guru, like the script is um, like, give me a couple minutes. Give me a couple minutes. You need to watch this to confirm your appointment because I want to show you something. And he picks up his phone and he shows to the camera a text from a prospect who like booked an appointment like 2 months ago and didn't show up. And then he texted him again. He was like, "Hey man, are you still doing like the coaching thing? Are you still helping people with XYZ? Like, I'm in a bad spot." And the script is like, this person booked a call with me 2 months ago. For whatever reason, he didn't show up. He texted me 2 months later, right? He's in a worse spot. It cost him this much time. He could have been making this much money, XYZ, XYZ, XYZ. And it makes it clear like, hey, look, booking the call was the easy part. Anyone can book a call, right? Anyone can take this little micro step, right? And I go into, I'm like, because I talk about like information in the thing. I'm like, how many YouTube videos have you consumed? How many free guides do you have in your thing? How many calls have you booked in the, like, let's be real with each other, right? That's the easy part. You need to take action. And then I go into like a specific case study where it's like the difference between a guy like this, right? And a guy like Sam, right? Who's on this call, who's literally on this page scheduled the exact same call that you did. And then 30 days later, hit 30K per month from 5K, is that he took action. He showed up into the call, got the blueprint, etc., right? And I tested that. The lift in show rate was 40%, 35 to 40%.
Crazy.
Lift in show rate. Now, I think I got lucky because I was speaking, not lucky because I knew I knew the psychographics of my market, but it was like the perfect message for the perfect market. And I knew that was also something that the sales team was doing heavily and having to do heavily. So I just did that on the back end VSL. Now, other stuff for show rates. So we do the hammer them emails, right? Of course. And so Jeremy sounds like 24. I haven't gotten to that point yet. I said like 10 to 15. And my entire goal with these emails is also the same thing where it's like pre-handling objections, because like you were talking about maximizing consumption here and like giving them different formats. I'm really just copying like the same messaging. I literally have a Claude bot that like the same Claude bot that like writes the post booking VSL, writes all these like the tactical case studies, all that stuff. It writes my emails as well, just in longer form. And I really try to go into hammering like any specific place that they could be that they're thinking like this won't work for me, right? Because like cold traffic, it's especially if you sell anything B2B, like anything B2B, for like my B2B guys out there, they're like, oh, this won't work for XYZ industry, this won't work for XYZ revenue, this won't work for XYZ location, whatever it is, it doesn't matter, right? Like they're just going to think, oh, this isn't for me. Like Hormozy talks about this, like you have to, this works for blah 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 blah. And so I do all that in the emails first, but then genuinely, and I didn't used to do this, and I started doing this recently, I just give as much value as I humanly can, right? Which is very vague. I know, give value, but like I genuinely share almost like everything, right? And I just try to build as much undeniable competence, right? from myself to the prospect that I know exactly how to solve this thing. Not just from social proof, they've seen that shit already, but through undeniable understanding of the thing that I'm doing and of the, and of my understanding of whatever the offer is, wherever they're at, etc. Right. And I just do that. That's the email side. Right. Now, the text side, very basic text, auto reminders. I actually wanted to ask you this question, not to segue. Have you guys, do you implement SendBlue for like almost all the clients that you have?
Most, yes.
Most, yes. Okay. So that's my one regret that I haven't tried this tool sooner. And so what we're experimenting right now is group chats. Jason Wojcik talks about this, like he did that a lot. Group chats where you literally record a video for any possible time frame that the appointment could be, 6:30, 7:30, etc. And then you automate that out for whatever booking window they have. Hey man, just saw you booked an appointment for 6. And then like you create a group chat between your setter / closer and then also the guru, if at a certain level scale. But Jason Wojcik did this at Say Sale, right? And so we're just now rolling that out. And I'm very curious to see how that works. But besides that, I've just been doing like literally just auto reminders. And oh my God, setters. It's
Agreed.
the one thing, and like we're gonna get into this one. It's like how can you make an unprofitable paid acquisitions? So we'll get into that. But the just setter activity, because you can, anyone here who like has a setting team of more than 2 setters or 2 or more setters, if you don't have a tracking sheet already that tracks this, right, or closers or whatever, if you don't already have this, create a tracking sheet that tracks show rate by setter and closer. And then when you see that discrepancy, because there will be a discrepancy, I promise you, when you see that discrepancy, you'll start to rethink, oh, okay, show up rate isn't all marketing. It is actually just activity, right? Because like our discrepancies were insane for some of our setters. Like that's a big thing. We'll get into that in terms of what breaks a profitable funnel.
For sure. That's super interesting how you say that. It's like the congruency. Now, with like some of our clients, right? It's like even set it to closer. And what you mentioned when you had the FAQs, right? Overcoming key limitations, but then you include the case study that's specific to that one customer, right? Super powerful, super potent. Now, with a killer setter, by the way, is like when you're in conversation with someone and now they bring up, let's say, a limitation that's potentially preventing them from attending a call, right? If now they are proactive and show activity and forward them a case study that's relevant to them, bro, you increase your close rate, you're increasing your show rate as well, right? So that activity is fucking critical. And we're going to go over like a lot of stuff, right? Because that is like massively value packed. It's kind of like that Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan synergy, right? The set and the closer, they should complement each other perfectly, right?
Yes. That's such an important dynamic. It's such a hard dynamic to nail. It really is hard. It's very, very difficult. Like I will say, because like we have our like one of these it's like the difference between unprofitable and profitable and unprofitable like media conversion mechanisms. Do you know what I've seen is like 9 times out of 10, 8 times out of 10, it's not actually the market. Like you can book calls. You can book calls at a cost that are profitable because all you guys are selling high ticket, right? And you all finance. So like on a projection scale, like on a spreadsheet, right? Everything looks good at your cost per call. What breaks down is the back end. It's always what breaks down is something on the back end, man. Right. And it usually has something to do with people. And the people is usually either the way that you're managing your setters and your closers, right? The way that you're building team culture, the way that you're training people, the way that you're managing people, the cadence and the expectations that you have set with your team, right? How often the marketing team meets with the sales managers, right? What data are they set? Like those things. It's literally that, man. Because marketing is the, I will say, easy part. We are kind of, we're good, so it's, of course it's easy for us. But if there's anything that does break with guys like us in there, it's going to be always back end.
For sure.
At least like that's my experience. That's been my experience. Like so far, it's like almost always back end stuff.
That's interesting. So in that case, right, what do you believe is more important, sales or marketing?
Oh, fantastic question. What's funny is I've had I've been in offers where I'm in 2 offers right now where it's like literally either or. I think that marketing, really good marketing, can get a prospect like almost there, but I believe that this idea, and now this could just be me. This might be an unpopular opinion, but I'm in it, and I believe that this idea that marketing, even with the back end selling stuff, even with all this stuff, this idea that marketing can basically create order taker prospects that show up on the call, don't blah blah, and they just hand you their credit card. That's way too oversimplified. Way too oversimplified. Because the offers that I'm in, I implement that. Sales is shit. Guess what? No money. Right? I've been there where implement that, sales is amazing. Holy fuck, we're scaling to the moon. And so obviously it's the actual answer is they're both important, obviously, right? They one cannot exist without the other. They both must be given the most utmost attention, right? Like both. You cannot have one without the other, right? And so like if we're looking to now, honestly, for me, if I'm looking to scale an offer, I'm like, you're hiring a sales agency. I don't care. Like if you don't have a sales manager in place, killer closers, all that stuff, sales agency. I'm not dealing with it because I've done it before. You're hiring a sales agency, I don't care what their cut is. Now after experiencing these issues, right? So yeah, I would say they're both equally important and you must give each equal attention and equal effort. Yes.
Yeah, undoubtedly. And then it's what you mentioned as well, right? It's like when you do the sales and marketing, right? Like let's say you've got a sales manager and you're doing the marketing, you need maximum congruency between the both of you to ensure maximum conversion, right? Like let's say now in a marketing, of course, you're not overcoming one key limitation that the sales guys are receiving on the sales calls over and over again. You're going to minimize your conversion rate, right? That's why, like, I'm not sure how you conduct it with your offers, but do you have like weekly meetings with the sales guys, or like do they happen
twice a week?
Twice a week,
yeah.
And then
yep.
And then when you're on, during the conversation, like what do you discuss? Like, do you go over the calls? Like, what needs projection? Like, how do you structure those calls?
So what we do is so our guys record through Fathom. I created a managed project. Actually, I'm looking to completely automate this. But I created a managed project that has our entire sales script process, our avatar dynamics, all that stuff, like from past calls before, and it creates a scoring sheet for each call transcript. And so what I do, upload that week's calls, or like the 3 days of calls, from wherever we left last time. All those calls, upload it into Manus. It scores each one of them. It gives me specific objections. So like only objections. Then it goes into like pre-frames. It goes into objection handling. It goes into what was the exact outcome of the call. Why did that outcome happen? Right. And then I'll just bring up that scorecard with sales manager usually, and usually he'll have the setter who actually took, or he'll have the closer who took that call. If it's like a big thing, I'm like, hey, like we need to hop on this. And I'll just be like, why did this happen? Right? Tell me everything. But I want the scorecard there first, because the sales guy, they're amazing at sales. But what I've noticed with salespeople is if you ask them a very simple question, like, hey, how are the leads? They'll say, oh, they're great, or oh, they're bad. That's nothing. That gives me absolutely nothing. Like I need, oh, the leads are showing up. What they're saying is that they're really liking the offer, but they're kind of confused as to how exactly it works. They like the premise, and they're not entirely sure if they could fit this into their busy schedule. And it's very hard to get a close. Like those are exceptional closers. It's hard to get them. And so I start with that already created from the scorecard, and then I use that as a guideline for the call. Right. And I'm like, hey, if there's anything else, give me that. Right. And now it's getting to the point where I don't even need the closer on the call. I just I do it with the sales manager. Like, hey, have you been experiencing like these are the trends of objections that we're getting on the calls? Right. Is this correct? Yes, no. How's this sales team feeling? Cool. Now I adjust my front end marketing and the VSL post booking, etc. All that stuff. Right. That's how I personally do that.
Super heat. And then the scorecard, what do you qualify for? Like, how does a scorecard look like?
Yeah. So we have first is we have it score on just like sales process principles, which is like the thing that every sales call should have. Depends on the org, but usually it's just like, hey, what are you dealing with right now? What have you tried to alleviate it? Why is it important? Like the urgency stuff. That's actually a big one. We have a specific score for urgency. So it's like, did the sales rep actively try to build urgency into the prospect, or at least uncover the urgency from the prospect to solve the problem? right? That's a big one. That's very specific. But then it's like, okay, where would what happens if you don't solve this problem in 6 months? Blah blah blah. What happens there? Okay, cool. Do you think now is the right time? Blah blah blah. Okay, then it goes into the sales presentation, right? And then we also score on this little thing, this really little thing, but it matters a lot. Are you still with me, John? Does that make sense, John? Are you with me here, John? I listen for that and I score for that actively within the scorecard as well, right? I forget what that's called. Hormozy had a name for it, but it's just, are you still with me, John, with the prospect? Because that's very, very important. I score for that. And then that's first section, just principles. And usually they have that down. Usually at the closer is taking calls and they're already ramped. This is post-ramping period. They usually are already doing that pretty well. And so I drill into objections, right? And so all I'm asking is I don't have my manager score on how well the objection was handled. I just have it scored on what was the attempt to handle the objection. What exactly did the sales rep say? Right? Because there's no way to really score like an objection handle. You can't templatize it. Not really. We've tried, but you can't really templatize it. And so I'm just like, what was the objection? Okay, cool. How was it handled? What was the next one? How was it handled? Right? What I'm trying to get to a certain point is to be able to uncover what was a phantom objection, like a non-real objection, versus what was the real one. And that's difficult to get even from by just listening to the entire call. It's very, very fucking difficult, right? But I'm trying to get to that point. But that's what the scorecard looks like. Yeah, I hope that answers.
Super interesting. Super interesting. Yeah, I like the AI process that you kind of crafted with the scoreboards. This is kind of feeding me into the next question, right? Because we use pretty advanced AI processes for cold traffic mastery, right? And that's your specialty, right? It's inside the bio, cold traffic, right? And this feeds me to the next topic, right? Is like recently, I think it's been in the past 14 months or so, there's been an uptrend of growth operating. I like to call them minions entering the industry, right? They've got sold this dream of growth operating being such an easy business model. They want to capitalize, right? But I've seen that there are two types of operators in the industry. One of them is these heavy organic guys that consult organic audiences. Everyone can do that. If I give my little brother an AI process and some prompts, he can do it, right? But not many info marketers can set up a cold traffic conversion mechanism that sells cold prospects on high-tech services, right? So like, what is the importance of understanding paid ads on like a deep level as like an info marketer to survive in today's increasingly skeptical, sophisticated, and hyper-aware market?
Okay, so the question was, why is it important, or what are the important things about to understand, to get right about paid ads?
Why is it important? And then we'll go into the how to make, of course, survive.
Yeah. It's important because if you look at pretty much any, besides Andrew Tate, any big info, anyone, I don't care, maybe there's a couple exceptions, but any of the big ones, they will scale to unfathomable amounts of revenue on organic, and they will still launch ads. Why? Because paid ads is the only vehicle to predictably get to the revenue levels that you want. And if you say, hey, I want to be at $2 million a month, predictably month after month, and with a predictable growth curve, right? Then you can project off of, that you can model off of if you want to build a real business. The only way to do that is with paid advertising, in my humble opinion, especially in this space. Organic has a cap, first of all, but second, it's inconsistent, right? And if you're constantly relying on organic, like constantly, it's funny, you do eventually tap out. Like, these guys have clipping armies, thousands and thousands, just everyone posting. Like, they're the most, like, they become like some of the most famous people like online, right? Just randomly, right? Everyone knows who Brez is. If everyone knows who Brez is, why did he still run ads? He still launched ads. Why? Right? Cardinal Mason, same thing. Huge organic, still launched ads. Why? Because they know that. Because they know that paid is the only mechanism they can actively use to push to the next level. Right?
All info roads lead back to paid ads. All info roads lead back to paid ads, right? And this
Yes.
is feeding on to the next one, right? I don't think we've
Yeah.
discussed conversion economics and like deep KPIs, right? But you mentioned with
Yeah.
organic, you're kind of in fluctuating mode, right? You're kind of, okay,
Yeah.
that content piece goes viral, your lead pool for that week like instantly increases, right? But through
Mhm.
paid media, I believe you are to some degree more in control of the conversion economics. For example, if you're running like a webinar funnel, you know that your CPOs are $5, you're getting your sharp rates of 40%, you spend this much on ads, you can get the live room to this many people, right? Now, this self-sustaining effect, right? Even with your clients, let's say that are running direct application funnels, right? Like, how do you reverse engineer the KPIs and conversion economics to kind of achieve that dream goal, if that makes sense?
Yep. It's honestly really basic math, like stupid basic. It's, hey, okay, what's our ACV? Sometimes we'll go into, if there's historical data, I'll go into and if there's some kind of like, because they almost all have backend upsell stuff, and so I'll go into what's your day one average cash, then what's your 60, 90, 120 day LTV. I sometimes I like to have the 120 LTV, but I usually just optimize for 90 almost always. Okay, cool. The spread between that, how long does it take us to realize most of our LTV? So we have our day one cash, which is how much cash we collect on average. Then we have our 90 LTV. And then I have, let's say like you're selling a program and the price is 5K, right? And so 5K is your average contract value. But let's say your average day one cash collected is 2K, right? It's like on average, your day one cash collecting in the account, internal payment plan, whatever it may be, 2K, right? I'm not going to project now off of 5,000. I'm not going to do that, right? Like I can get like my eventual lift, but I'm not going to do that because ads are, hey, I'm spending money on day one, and I need to know what my time frame, what my time to return is going to be, right, on cash. So I'm going to project off 2K. All right, cool. It's 2K now, based on these numbers, 2K day one average cash. So how many people are we closing, right? Let's say it's 10%, right? So I need 10 calls. I close one. From there, I'm like, okay, cool. Based off of the 2K, what's my break even cost per booked call? By the way, close rate on book, so book to close rate, not shown to close rate, because that's a whole other thing, right? Let me get into show rates. But book to, just to keep it really simple, book to close rate. Let's say it's 10%. All right. And now, okay, cool. Now I know that I need to, like, my break even $200 cost per book call, right? And so, all right, cool. If I can stay under that, I am profitable. I'm not 2x profitable, not because you just, half the number, you're 2x profitable, whatever. I'm not 2x profitable, but I am profitable, right? Now, that's the basic math. That rarely, everything looks good on a spreadsheet. Like you're gonna map that out on a spreadsheet. Everything like, oh, we're gonna be profitable. No, your day one ACV, your close rate goes to trash for 1 week, right? Your show rate literally gets cut in half, right? And so what's really, really important, especially now and this is for any growth operators here like dealing with clients, it's important that they understand this as well, is that business in general, but paid ads also, it's a longevity game. I get it, you're spending daily. Stop looking at the daily windows. Stop it. Stop. Right? Stop doing that. You have to look at this on a longer time horizon because it's just the deployment of capital. That's all this is. This is an investment. Think of this as an investment. You're deploying capital and you want a return, right? And so are you a fucking day trader, right? Or are you an investor? I hope you're an investor. I really do hope you are an investor if you're trying to build a real business and you're trying to be serious. And so I'm like, okay, cool. Can we weather this storm if we do like get a, we need a 60% storm, we got a 30%. Can we weather the storm and fix this problem? Or are you going to get emotional, turn ads off and say, hey, we need to launch a webinar next?
Such many cases, bro.
Because I'm sorry, now you're going to launch this new thing that you have no idea about anything about, right? And you're going to deal with different issues, and it's just going to keep happening. You know what's so hilarious to me? And I wanted to bring this up when you first brought it up in the beginning of the call. Why do we fall for our own bullshit? Like we do this to our prospects. New shiny thing, right? Everything else doesn't work because of XYZ. New mechanism. And we fall for the same shit. Oh, I need to do a webinar now because blah, blah, blah guru said so. Stop. No, you can't be both the manipulator and then get manipulated. Pick one. You can't be a producer and consumer, dude.
Bro, it's what we mentioned, bro. Like every conversion mechanism absolutely works. What doesn't work is your
Yes.
reactive mindset. Like it does. Like
Yes.
of course there are industry specific conversion mechanisms, right? I used to optimize for
Hmm.
consumption with more like with different ICPs and different markets, right? But at the end of the day, every conversion mechanism works. Like even Tony Robbins, right? This guy was running like a book funnel in like the 1990s. A book funnel still works
Yeah.
now. Jason Fladden was doing
Yes.
webinars. Jason Fladden was doing webinars since 2008. We are entering 2026 and webinar funnels are still crushing, right? The way that you become a great is, of course, by understanding that success is in the longevity, right? That's the cornerstone, right? And this
Yes.
is, of course, the next thing, right? Because you are a paid ads guy, right?
Yeah.
You understand the conversion economics that go into making a funnel profitable, right? But
Yeah.
principally thinking, like if we're thinking from like principle based, of course, ideologies, right? What
Hmm.
makes a great paid media conversion mechanism? Let's maybe like break down a unprofitable paid ads conversion mechanism and then like compare it to a profitable one. And like what has the profitable one got that the unprofitable one is lacking, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Here are a couple things that I've noticed historically. So paid ads is just leverage. Paid ads is leverage. Adding leverage to an inefficient system just exponentially highlights the inefficiencies. And so this includes obviously everything on the front end that has to do with the actual conversion mechanism itself. And this has to do with everything on the back end as well, right? Now, let's say I'm this is what I've seen the because the principle of every conversion mechanism works. That is true. Now, there is an odd case where we are running a just the wrong funnel, the wrong offer. First of all, is usually almost always if it's a huge problem, it's kind of the offer. Like you have to have an offer that's optimized for cold
Mm.
traffic. And usually all that means is that an offer that's not vague, an offer that people are literally buying right now, that's the easiest way to make a like a grand slam offer. What are people literally buying right now? The most of. Cool. Just do that, man. But I'm assuming that everyone here already has a good offer. Um, Offer is number one. And let's say like sometimes, like literally maybe like 1 out of 10 times, it's like the conversion mechanism itself is just bad, like just really bad, right? Like let's say it's like a I don't know, like a man, I genuinely I'm not gonna lie to you. I have never experienced a conversion mechanism that hasn't worked when I have done the following things. If something is breaking, what exactly is breaking? So having visibility into the data and then understanding what that data actually does. So like for example, we're talking about show up rate, right? Everyone talks about that. Say we're running it again, the DTA application funnel. What about your Typeform submission rate? Right?
Mm.
Like I rarely see people talk about that. Like,
Mm.
let's say all things remain the same, and let's say to be dramatic, right? If you double your submission rate, you have literally doubled like your whole
Real.
business. And so people don't understand downstream, like lagging indicators, upstream metrics, downstream metrics, etc. Right? Like if I can get more people to submit my form, and then what about my booked form to schedule rate, right? This is by the way, this is a live example. We noticed that ours was low, so we did two things. One, we integrated Calendly directly into Typeform instead of redirecting to a separate URL, and we had an automation that goes out that's like conditional timer. Contact like application gets added. Wait 15 minutes. If they don't get booked into an appointment, immediately notify setter, and they get sent like just blasted with text, right? And that lifted our stuff, to a good to our baseline KPIs, right? And so there's never been a case where I couldn't fix a conversion mechanism. A conversion mechanism that doesn't work is one that you are unwilling to fix. That is what I will say. Because either you do not have insight, you cannot gather the data, you do not have like actual visibility, in which case that's just a technical issue. I would do everything in your power right now to ensure that you are tracking absolutely everything there is to track from the ad side. So all of those soft metrics, hook rate, hold rate, through place, through play click through rate, outbound click through rate, etc., 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 and then your funnel metrics, so your app, all the stuff that we're talking about. I could go for hours. Track all of that, have it in a spreadsheet, and then look at what's happening. Because if you see a massive discrepancy, for example, I came into a real estate offer, like our ads aren't working. I'm like, I wonder why. 5 minutes into it, they were trying to solve this problem for a month. 5 minutes into it, I was like, hey, who has the Typeform login access? I don't know. We don't even check our Typeform. I go to the Typeform. 96% drop-off rate on the first question because they were asking people for first name, email, phone number, and it was broken. And they were just like, oh, but guys, 96% of people are dropping off. No wonder it's not working, right? And they, by the way, hilarious, they were literally be like, we want to test a low ticket funnel. Low ticket funnels, by the way, are so if you can crack low ticket funnels, you're good. You're really, really good. Because they are fucking complicated, especially like with all the AOV stuff. And so again, conversion mechanism that doesn't work is one that you are unable to fix and unwilling to fix. That is just what I have seen, right? There could be some old school, like there's like this old funnel by Russell where it's like a high ticket downsell funnel. It's like you start with a high ticket and then you go down. Never tested it. Maybe that's a bit old school. I don't know. But again, I've never been in a conversion mechanism where I couldn't just fucking fix the problem instead of like, oh, let me try a new thing.
Yeah, but guys, pay attention to Julius, to what Julius is mentioning, right? He is obsessed with specific KPIs, right? Everyone talks about short rate, closing rate, right? But he was looking at the KPIs for the amount of people that actually fill in the application form, right? And like as Julius also mentioned, you are one small KPI away from drastically changing your business. One small KPI that could be an uplift in unique CTR, right? Or that could be an uplift in webinar opt-in rate or sharp rate or post-webinar conversion rate. That could be your one small KPI away from drastically increasing your thing, right? And like,
can I give them some sauce, by the way, on this?
Depends on how in depth it is. But yeah, let's not gatekeep. Let's not gatekeep.
Okay. So for the Typeform, let me just tell you just two quick things that I changed that drastically improve. Like any new Typeform that I get into, this increases the submission rate if you're doing applications. Number one, first question should be, are you interested in achieving outcomes? So, for example, are you interested in starting a profitable XYZ business? Right? Yes, no. First question, right? That should be your first question. Next, the order which you use in terms of like the modality of the question. So by modality, I mean checkbox, radio versus text. The highest friction, like in terms of what they have to tactically do on the phone, should go latest, right? Next, it's the highest friction of like resistance, like mind resistance of the question. So everyone likes to financially qualify, right? First of all, there's a way to financially qualify without financially qualifying. Maybe that's like the too much sauce. I won't share that because it's like very, 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 very saucy. But there's a way to do that without like turning your prospects off, right? Another thing, a lot of you have, I've seen this a lot where they have like what makes you the best fit for this program? If you have any kind of field that has that, I know this would be very, very specific. Swear to God, change it to this. What personal strengths do you have that you think would help you succeed with XYZ business? Use that for two reasons. One, it's not invasive. Two, you have just sold them on themselves. Alan talks about this all the time. There's proving yourself, like you, the guru, trust in you. There's trust in the mechanism. The most important part is trust in themselves, that they can succeed. You just did that with that question. Swear to God, implement that right now. And then the next thing, for any question that you ask that's like high friction, again, high resistance, where you're asking them how much money they make, how much cash they have, these, you have to invest, blah, 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 even their contact information, tell them why you're asking it. For example, when you put the name and the email, phone number, the contact fields, add this. P.S. We will never spam you. We hate spam. We will only use this information to send you or confirm it or give them good result. The better the justification, the higher the submission rate. Having a justification is good enough. If it's really good, you're going to get more opt-ins. I've tested this extensively. Do that on the Typeform.
Game. That's like back to Anatol Panic, right? Great marketer. Everyone, of course, admires him, right? He, of course, coined this thing, push versus pull marketing, right? Does that principle of like when you get the prospect to qualify themselves to you, it's kind of like you're putting them towards you rather than kind of like aggressively pushing them, right? Like principle-based thinking.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Like the problem is like, but a lot of these like BizOp guys or like did this I mean, they're still doing this now. It's like imagine like I'm just like me, right? I go to a thing and I'm interested in a program. It says like, why do you think you're a good fit for us? It's like
Mm.
I'm like, dude, who the fuck are you? Fuck you. Bye. Like that
Yeah.
question is so odd to me. A lot of
Mm.
these questions are so, it's like you're just putting, if people just had a little bit more tact and put a little bit more effort into the kinds of questions that they're asking people, like it's so obvious that you're trying to sell them something. So obvious that you're pocket watching them, right? Put in some effort, get creative, find ways to reframe each question it doesn't feel like you're invading their personal space. Or doesn't feel like they're being treated as a number,
Real.
right?
Yeah.
Like you have to remember that they're people. There's another human being at the end of the screen. So many people forget that because they just copy something from some guru and they just slap it on. They're people, man. They're people.
Sure. Minimize the resistance barriers. And if you're feeling that you can't do it, you're one AI prompt away. Like imagine you got that question right, then you put it
Oh
inside
my
of Claude
God.
or like a language like a model, right? And say, hey, can you reframe this question and make it seem more personal and less invasive? I want to maximize my Typeform filling rates. It's easy.
Yes.
You want
So easy,
people.
dude.
You are one prompt away, right? And like Alan, of course, mentions it, right? About kind of like disguising the sales process to kind of get that prospect pulling towards you, right? That's one
Mhm.
thing. Like right now, as you mentioned, in the biz of industry, right? There is still, and I'm not sure why this is happening, considering that the market is increasingly skeptical and like hyper aware, these like gurus are still like pushing these people with like aggressive tactics, like artificial above the fold scarcity inclusions and all this stuff, right? Like people are picking up on it, right? Like let the person
Yes.
qualify themselves to you with like not making it invasive, right? Kind of as you mentioned. So that's
Yes.
like huge. That's huge game right there.
Yes. 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 Literally, you are one prompt away from potentially changing your entire business. Like if you have a
Real.
shit submission rate, you get a prompt, it goes higher. Congratulations. Like that could be worth $30,000.
Oh, bro,
Whatever.
for real,
Like it's
for
insane.
real. Like like some game here as well. But like we were doing like a logic extension funnel, and we were of course taking care of the OTO. The OTO one-time offer take rates were a bit slim on cold traffic. They were like 5 to 7%, right? And we were
Mm-hmm.
of course attempting to troubleshoot this OTO, right? Like how can we take rates and stuff, right? What we done,
Mm-hmm.
go full screen page Chrome extension, took a screenshot of the entire page, put inside Claude, which is of course engineered to think like us, and just
Mm-hmm.
asked Claude about CRO practices, right? And what it recommended was adding an above the fold scarcity element, which said this offer is vanishing in X time. And the X time, by the way, it showcased the specific time and the time zone that the prospect is
Yeah.
in. Bro,
Yep. Yep.
our take rates, no cap on the net for a 97 OTO were 20% on cold traffic. And they bought a $9 front end offer. 20% just by including an above the fold scarcity element that was time zone specific. You're one prompt
Bro,
away.
okay. This is too much sauce, bro. Do not let people know that you can literally create the most insane like custom code elements onto your page that are like
Bro,
and it'll just spit them out.
bro,
It'll just and you add it to your page,
insane.
it changes everything. Like I've done some
Oh,
stuff for the webinars and also my call for like no like we gotta gatekeep that shit. We gotta
let's
gatekeep
gatekeep,
that.
let's gatekeep, let's gatekeep. But bro, Claude, by the way, is incredible with the coding. Even logic funnels as well.
Yes.
It's like you kind of say, it's like your discount expires on this day, and this day is 48 hours from today. And then it auto populates
Yes.
today. Bro, small things like this.
Yes.
You one prompt away,
Yeah.
right? But we
Bro,
can't
I've done stuff
touch.
with location. I've done stuff with location. Like they're in a specific location, and I'll do an element there. I won't say the element because oh my, this I like actually I'm very proud of this. I don't want anyone to steal this, but like an actual element that had to do with their exact city where they were at. It was able to pull that. I had to do a little bit of some crazy stuff on like a Java listener on the actual parent container, but it was anyway. It's nuts. It can get stupid.
Silly, yeah, silly. Like I know, like you're familiar with Jason Capital, right? Like OG marketer, Jason Capital.
Oh my. Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, that's a throwback.
Yeah, Jason
Yeah, that's a
Capital
throwback.
before like AI, right? I was on his list, right? Then he was doing these custom codes with like
Mm,
location. He had one for Minnesota and all these other areas,
mhm,
right? I mean, like then I'm thinking
mhm.
like, how the fuck have you got the specific location that I'm in, and then you're tailoring this sales page to my location? What's happening here?
Yes.
But like
Yeah.
now, as you mentioned, you are one prompt away. Like Claude, by the way, is so fucking insane with that. It's even like artificially crafted. I'm not sure if this is unethical. I'm not sure if this is like Woodland FTC, right? But
Mm-hmm.
there is like formal widgets that you can create.
Mm-hmm.
This is like super game, right? Super game. We have got done for you.
Super good.
If you implement this on your DTA funnels, for anyone watching as well, it's like a social proof embed code, right? That says, of course, this person from this location took X action, right? But then the names are ICP specific, the location is ICP specific, and then it shows the bundle there with like 5-star reviewed. Oh, bro, conversion rates increased.
Yeah. The location thing is the location thing is still nuts to me, man. That's still nuts to me. Yeah.
Bro.
I have one that I'm about to put on a real estate offer where location is like one of the single biggest objections. Like, will this work in my area? And I'm going to literally just create an area thing there and just my submission, they're gonna go through the fucking roof. Like just through the fucking roof. It's gonna be insane. I already know it.
That's fine. Yeah.
Oh,
I know
this
we
is
touched
game,
on
dude. This is a lot of game.
this is a lot of game. This is an insane amount of game. And I know you mentioned, right, on the webinar funnels, you had these codes. They can't be unleashed, right? It's like, is that too much game? The codes you were referring to. Is it too much game? Or even just like ethically gatekeeping?
The calls or the code?
No, the code. Like, like the
Yeah,
code
yeah.
that we use for the
Okay,
webinar
okay.
funnels.
Okay. No, I can say this because it's actually very, very basic. It's literally it's a thing. It has like the graphic. How would I describe the graphic? It's like imagine a bunch of little rectangles and they're all filled in with a specific color, and then one of them is blinking, and then like you have two that are like black or whatever, and then it's literally just live room seats are almost filled up, and then I have expected date to expected time to lock event to like event lock time, and then it's like an hour in front of whatever.
Heat. That's like, bro, of course, remember, like I walked over like the artificial scarcity element, right? If you say 7 spots left, no one's going to pick up on that. But shit like this, bro, that is genuine.
Yes, that's the thing, is like these things work, they just have to be specific, super specific. And so we use it like the seats are about to run out, and we're going to close the live room literally at 7, and the person's on your page at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Like, yeah, that's gonna it's gonna work. Like, it's gonna work.
That is game. That is game.
Yeah. And I put that on the opt-in page. Of course. That's on like the opt-in page.
Fire, bro. Fire. Now, bro, man, more conversion mechanism talk before, of course, we go to creative and kind of like industry and market specific questions, right? We touched on the conversion mechanisms they implemented for clients, right? But what have you seen, especially in like during 2025, that the conversion mechanisms which absolutely rip, like that, like are ripping like crazy?
I'm going to talk from my own experience actually building these things, but then also because I have consulting clients, and so I have a bunch of consulting clients and they're doing everything. Right now, I have a consulting client. He has an agency, and he's targeting e-commerce, and he has a low ticket funnel, and he's I can't name drop because he's like one of the I'm not gonna name drop what he sells, but he sells a low ticket. He has a low ticket product that specifically it's like literally copy and paste, where like time to value is immediate. It's not a course, it's not no, it is templated. If you just do this, you copy and paste it, you use it in, I'm not going to say where because again that could reveal too much, but you use it in a certain place where the prospect wants to, and they can like immediately get results. And he's profitable on the low ticket, which is rare as hell. Like, so rare. Like, he was cool with like when he showed me, I was like, oh, I bet you're at, I saw that because I saw the offer was fantastic. I was like, you're probably at a 70-80% liquidation rate. He's like, nope, he has like a 1.1 1.2 ROAS on the front end, like just on the low. And
wait,
and it,
bro, no, like what's the price of it, and then has he got like order bumps and stuff?
of course. So his price 27, looks like It's the template thing. And then his OTO one. How do I share this without sharing this? His OTO one is it's the same modality where it's a template, but it's for a different part of the business. So all it is like he introduced of course you introduce a problem. Well, you solve a problem with the front low ticket. What problems have you now created from that product that you just sold them, right? And so it's like, I'll help you generate leads. Great, now you need to close them. Very simple example, right? And so it's like that. That's his OTO. That's his OTO one. His OTO two, actually, it's free, but it's a paid consultation call. Because his whole goal, he runs an agency. So his whole goal was to liquidate spend to get free calls. And his whole thing, it's like he's like Ryan Clock, right? Like Ryan Clock is the same thing. He wants to liquidate spend and just ascend immediately into a call, right? And so this guy has the 27. He has an order bump there too, by the way, and then the OTO, which is the next one, and then just immediate implementation roadmap call, which I believe is similar to Sabri. I think his Sell Like Crazy book is all similar, where it's the book bump. I think it's $97 OTO one, and I think OTO two is it?
Yeah,
I forget.
I worked down that value ladder like a long time ago. When I ascended down it, by the way, I just bought the book and then it was straight to the strategy page, which was interesting. But he may have changed.
Interesting. Okay. I know that he split tested like so many headlines. I know that. Which, by the way, also just for people know the things that they might be overlooking. I changed my headline and I increased my opt-in rate by 25%. Everything stayed the same. Like, your headline is no shit. Literally it's 80% of people read the headline. This is old marketing shit. 80% of people read the headline, 20% of people read the cop. The headline can literally make or break. Like, it can be the most important element on your page. And so if you're not already split testing headlines, different leads, different power words, different mechanisms, different justifiers, different results, different timeframes, do that already. I'm gonna come out with like a whole headline guide on Twitter. But that's just a short little tangent. So I've seen low ticket ascension funnels work extremely well, especially in like B2B done for you, because you can give them a template, super valuable. They can implement, and then you can have a bunch of OTO2s that just keep solving new problems, and you just book them into a free implementation call, right? So I've seen that work really well. Now, from offers that I'm directly in, webinars with a book a call CTA webinars, working very well, as they always have. Working, if you're competent, working very well. I've seen the profile, again, Nick, if you don't know, like Nick setting the profile funnel, I've tested it out on, again, this like side project thing that I'm doing, and it's just like 7 creatives, literally like video engagement, conversion objective, and then you like keep retargeting the 25% hold rate audience with like new things CTA. It can be really cheap, and like these people, by the time they DM you, holy fuck, because you're doing all the work on the front end, right? Instead of doing it on the back, you're literally taking the back end selling system and just running it as ads. Like, that's it, right? Also specific. Also, you have to have a really good personal brand. But DM funnels, by the way, I'm running DM funnels now as well. They work very well. You have to have exceptionally dialed setters, really dialed setters. Also really good profile and all those assets as well. DM funnels would highly recommend people test out, especially if they have a good social presence. And then my personal favorite, book a call funnel. That is my personal favorite right now, simply due to the speed of the speed of the feedback loops, right? Like, with the webinars are fantastic. You should, like, webinars, I feel like, are honestly the best mechanism to get a higher ROI at significant scale. And I believe that DTA funnels can give you enough baseline about your avatar, your offer, your price points, your objections, all that stuff, to build what's necessary for that webinar. And so, now that's not to say that book a call funnels can't scale exponentially as well. But I genuinely do believe that webinars are that, like, if you want a conversion mechanism where you're getting a 1 to 5 like return, and you're spending $500,000, 700 grand, a mil on ads in a month, you're probably going to go with a webinar or a challenge, or even at that point, like a live event, something like that. Some very Grant Cardone, but I do believe that webinars scale plus ROI.
Interesting. What are your thoughts on supplementing your core conversion mechanism with a different one? For example, right? You're of course running the DTA funnels, right? Do you introduce supplementary conversion mechanisms alongside that one as well to kind of tap into new audience pools? Or like when do you kind of run two funnels at the same time?
Yeah, I'll run two funnels when we've all of our baselines are stable. And then I'll usually do what we just talked about. So launch a webinar. And then what I actually do a lot is sometimes I'll run a separate reactivation with the same thing, but I'll run a reactivation or retargeting campaign, because I don't run retargeting campaigns. I really only run prospecting campaigns. And then whatever my ads, like my ad structure is usually like concepts are segmented out as ad sets, and I have the ads under that concept. Concept is usually just avatar plus, or usually just angle, and then some other variable there. People use concepts, define concepts differently, but I usually just have that, and then I have top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel in all those ad sets, and Facebook automatically retargets for me. You can literally see this in the frequency view. But sometimes I'll do dedicated retargeting, like especially if I have really high event match quality score, and I know for a fact that my leads but didn't book are like populated in there. I'll run a dedicated retargeting campaign. And then what I'll either is webinar. Sometimes what I'll do is an opt-in campaign, believe it or not, like an opt-in long-form nurturing campaign, because I'm like, okay, cool. With the VSL DTA funnel, I've gotten people who are like, very, commit action right now. I know that to get to the bigger pocket of the market, I have to be more patient, and I have to now just nurture authority, position myself as an authority, give them value, right? And so that's what I'll often do is I'll launch a dedicated opt-in funnel. And so this, I say opt-in funnel, several. So opt-in campaign, but I'll have like separate landing pages that talk to specific outcomes, specific avatars that I've seen already win in the hero campaign, right? Weirdly, sometimes, like now, I mentioned earlier that I'm reversing that. So I'm doing the opt-in funnel first, right? And then after, I'm going to do a book call, just an experiment. I'm just like fucking around. But yeah, sometimes I'll do that often. I'll just introduce an opt-in campaign. Really the thing, honestly, no matter what funnel I'm running, is hiring an email guy. Honestly, because I hate email. That's just me. I don't like writing emails. Even though they're the easiest copy to write, I'll hire an email guy who can like work with AI tools and just literally build out like 6 to 12 month long sequences with the right tagging, the right segmentation, etc. Right? So VSL to webinar, VSL to opt-in, sometimes opt-in to webinar. And then again, not me personally, because I'm not building these things, but what I've seen a lot of my consulting clients do, book a call and then low ticket, straight to low ticket. Right? And then they'll really try to scale that. Very similar to Ryan. I think if you could crack low ticket, then one of the best. It's up there. It's up there with webinars.
It's up there for sure. They are hard to crack though. Like as you said, there's a lot of AOV contribution that goes to it. And one thing, of course, you mentioned with that agency consultant client that you're working with, right? He's of course got this template on the front end, and then they're sending these people into done for you clients, right? Is Josh Gavin as well. He of course done the thing with Ryan Clog, right?
Yeah.
His low ticket funnel, by the way, is incredibly smart and intellectual. I like his one. He essentially
Josh's low ticket,
it seems like
I have it on my computer as a swipe file, like just like literally pinned because it's so gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's also beautiful.
It's beautiful. But like the philosophy around it, which is interesting to me, the low ticket, it's essentially a done for you of some sort. He kind of crafts this low ticket product ideation for you and then it sends to you. Now, like let's say you're giving away all this value, you've got this roadmap, but then you're subconsciously thinking, bro, this is long, I can't do it to myself. Fine, strategical, right? it's like the perfect extension ladder, right? The perfect extension ladder. But yeah, low ticket extension funnels, they are crazy as well. And feeds into the next one, right? We of course walked over, right? You use this AI process, scorecards for your sales team and marketing congruency, right? Now, how do you use AI to assist you on the front end with the ads? Have you got any process for
Yeah.
crafting these highly converting ads?
Yeah. So I start with deep research prompts, and I use Manus. Some people use Gemini, some people use GPT. I love Manus. So I start with Manus. I have a whole prompt that I have it like search subreddits, YouTube videos, headlines, like Facebook. Like I'll have literally two separate Manuses running at the same time and just combine them together. And what I really want is, so we have personas, right? Very easy when you're going into an offer that's already established. But let's say we're trying to launch a brand new offer. Is I need to figure out who my avatar is. And let's be honest, we're guessing, right? So what I'm gonna do is you have to be specific in your avatar. Like that's the most, you have to be so specific. And so I'll create, hey Manus, I'm trying to target men between the ages of 35 to 55 who are looking for who have a higher net worth, and they're looking for a vehicle to park their cash, keep it safe, and have it appreciate in value. What are these people struggling with right now? What is the precise exact language that they use in their day-to-day lives to describe the problem and the outcome that they want? What have they tried before? What are their horror stories? What is their perceived roadblocks or inabilities to get the thing that they want? Because I want perception. And like going to awareness level is like you have solution aware. It's perceived solution aware. They think they're solution aware, right? And so I want that. And then of course, what else is out in the market? That goes into competitor research, but just avatar research. I want that whole thing, and I want it for each and every avatar that I'm targeting. Because I can't say, hey, give me 5 people. Like, no, I have to be hyper specific sources, specific quotes, specific places where they go, where they talk, different forums, YouTube channels, right? I have a thing where first, this was in my old channel, on my old Twitter that got deleted. But I have two bots that go out, just some sauce here. There's a Reddit Chrome extension. I forgot the name of it. But it basically extracts posts from a certain subreddit. So what I'll do is like, hey Manus, give me an exhaustive list of subreddits that XYZ person might frequent visit, right? And I go to the Chrome extension, pull all the posts, upload it to a new Manus. Hey Manus, extract the following things, right? And again, their exact language, blah, 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 all that stuff. I do the same thing for YouTube videos. And I do the YouTube video, but then I go to the comments too and see what people are saying there. Now, I don't do this super extensively because holy fuck, the amount of credits that it uses is nuts. But I'll do this for like maybe 10 YouTube videos in that specific niche. And I'll just pull all the comments. I'll pull literally the transcription of the YouTube video as well. That's why I take so many credits. And then I'll just mash them all together, right? And I just get this massive document that informs me like everything. I'll know them better than they know themselves, right? That's the output of the prompt. It's huge. From there, I get into, so that's number one. Then I go into competitor research. Now, to be completely fair, I'm not dialed on my AI processes for competitor research at all. What I do, this is super manual, honestly. Need to improve on this. I use SwipeKit for it's fantastic because you can get like transcripts of the ads within the app, no third-party stuff. You can save to boards, etc. I use that manually. So I'll do first of all like just keyword searches in the ads library API that it has. So blah blah blah, real estate investing, whatever it may be. Pull all the competitors, add them to a board. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll create a new Instagram account and I'll find real estate stuff. And if I get like, or whatever offer I'm in, if I get one ad, I'll like keep scrolling, get the ad, like engage with it. Super manual, super manual. Again, very, very manual. But let's go to the swipe kit. What I'll do is all the ads that I have, like I'll compile at least 30 competitor ads. And I want people who are like selling the same thing, but speaking to different people. So I don't want the same repetitive stuff. Copy the transcripts, add that all to a massive Google Doc with all the transcripts, label the names, export it as TXT, and then add it to a Claude project. And I have that. I have my deep research prompt, and then I go into mechanism. So mechanism is I have an extensive onboarding with my client, and I want to understand exactly, specifically how this thing works to achieve XYZ outcome, right? I want to understand the solution mechanism. But then I want to understand also the unique problem mechanism. And this is like one thing that I feel like people don't like pay attention to enough. Um the You'll know that you have a good unique problem mechanism if your prospects literally feel relieved when they hear it. Because like relief is the removal, like the cessation of like distress. Stress is caused by the ongoing feeling of the lack of control. And we feel lack of control when we've exhausted all other options that we think possible to solve a problem. When you tell someone that there's a logical reason why everything else has failed, and there is hope, there's a new way, there's something that they can try next, they will feel relief. In reality, just telling them that they have something else, that they have a new option, that's more than enough, because that builds that relief, right? Hilarious. Let's go back, because like we're marketers, so we know this, right? Your funnel's not working, and you get an ad from some guru. Launch a DM ad. I heard this thing called the easy yes funnel. So, insert whatever. What do you feel? You're like, oh, there's something else I can. Oh, there's something else I can do, right? Why? Because you're stressed out. You've tried everything. To your, again, this is your perception. You haven't tried everything, but you think you have, right? And so if we just give someone another option and then explain why all of these things, man, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. You've been led astray. You didn't have the people who are succeeding, they have an unfair advantage. They have this secret and something that you don't know, right? And so we need both the unique problem mechanism and then what that secret is, whatever that thing is, which is a unique solution mechanism. You can't create a unique can't create a unique mechanism without a perfect understanding of exactly how that thing works to achieve the outcome. And so I'll give you an example. You've ran a funding funnel before, right? You like ran a funding offer, right? Like a while back. He's like, because I heard you, because I'm subscribed to your email list, and you said you had a post about mechanisms, and you said like the OPM method, like other people's money. And so I was like, if that was like and so because I ran a funding funnel too, it was like done for you. And I poured through, I had my client interview, like you told me how it worked. And so I went through my competitor research. Everyone was just claiming, hey, we'll get you XYZ amount of funding, right? In XYZ days, blah, blah, blah. Sure. No one was justifying that claim. No one was telling you how. And they said, like, okay, credit stacking, blah, blah, blah. So okay. After I had this interview with this client, and they're like, we use bank reps. I was like, interesting. Use bank reps. Okay. And so I go back to, again, that competitor, like all the ads, right? All the funnels, everything that people are running right now. No one's mentioning this. If they are, it's like buried in the VSL somewhere or buried in the ad. It's definitely not on the headline. It's definitely not the main core big idea or premise of the offer. So I was like, you know something's really good? We'll use our insider banking connections to get you approved for 100,000 funding in 0% interest in XYZ days, even if you don't. Insider banking relationships. Bro, everyone copied us. There was a point, I can literally show you my ads dashboard. There was a 3-day period where our cost per qualified book call was $5.46.
Crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. And it's because I just had that was my unique, and notice how I didn't say the 3-step approval method system.
Yeah.
No, insider banking connections. The better, the more understandable your mechanism is, the better it's going to perform. Because people can tell when you're being lazy with it. When you're saying XYZ funnel system, blah, blah, blah. They can tell. They can tell.
Yeah, for sure.
So
it's like that.
The only
Oh, no, sorry to interrupt for a moment, but like, I remember you replied to Daniel Fazio's tweet on Twitter around, of course, the power of UM, right? That got like a decent amount of engagement. That resonated with like a lot. This is or like what you're achieving, right? Like it's not only a naming convention. In my opinion, when you craft a naming convention without justifiable reasoning in why your solution is superior, it's cringy. A three-step funnel ascension system is cringy, right? But what you've done, you found a loophole and like a unique way in how he gets the result, and that was your sales argument, right? So that is that like the premise of how you craft unique mechanisms is actually like finding a pocket in how they're different and then using that to your advantage, right?
Yeah, so this comes from my experience writing like supplement VSLs. Because like I used to write a while back, but I used to write like long form supplement VSL copy. And just like on the side, it wasn't like my main thing. And there's a thing called like a deeper core reason why, right? And when you write supplement copy, like you literally have to pour through like FDA filings, you have to pour through like scientific research papers to find like ingredients that like you have to be part-time become a biochemist. And the how extensive and how deep down you have to get to extract this one nugget. Like you're going to read through this thing and you're going to find this one nugget. You're like, oh shit, that's it. Like, oh, that's it. And I'm going to be honest, I love AI and it can probably do this, but I feel like, and I've actually been using AI at less and less now, not because it's not effective, but because I need to keep my edge sharp when it comes to these things. And there's a certain level that you reach where your instinct around these things is built to the point where you can find these little nuggets, the big idea, the mechanism like buried somewhere that will literally just destroy everyone else in the market. And I really do feel like it's a skill that you must yourself at least know how to do, right? And yeah, so like when it comes to mechanism, very, very specific. Like my onboarding for my clients is actually mainly not even their avatar, all that stuff. It's mainly just how does your shit work? And we'll get like a long interview, and then I'll extract everything I need from there.
That's super heat. That's super heat.
Yeah.
Because I remember as well, I'm sure, of course, Craig Clemens you're familiar with, right? Absolute OG marketer. He was like a portfolio of brands, right? Back in the day, by the way, when I got started with copywriting, I used to dissect the Gundry MD's like emails line by line, bro. Like I was autistic with it, right? And then like they were selling this one supplement, and then they came up with this crazy story and how it got found in like some like iceberg section on the top of this mountain in the secret location of Romania. And then I'm thinking, wow, bro, this is not your typical zinc supplement. This is not a typical magnesium supplement I can find in Holland and Barrett or like a supplement store, right? So it's all about like digging deep. So like the way that you found the unique mechanism for the funding offer, by the way, is like that just came from a conversation with the client, right?
Yeah. So what I did was, because I'll be honest, the client wasn't the best. And so he was able to give me like a good amount of things. And he said like we use bank reps, but I had to go out and do my own research as to like does that actually make a significant difference? And so that's just insider connections is one thing, but now you always tie your UPM with your USM, right? And so I did some research and as well as an interview with the client, and I found this thing. I found this stat. I forgot what it was, but I remember the copy that I wrote from it was our insider connections will help you. I think it was like overcome our insider connections will help you avoid the walled gardens or like the gatekeeping that's responsible for 85% of funding rejections. And so what I did there, that's not obviously the word for word copy. This was a while, but what I did there was I was like, hey, the reason why you're getting rejected isn't because of whatever belief that I wanted to instill in them, that it's not because of their revenue or their credit score or whatever it was. It's because that there's a walled garden right now, right? These people are gatekeeping, and no matter how much, like, remove alternatives from their mind, right? So no matter how much money you make, no matter how good your score is, you're still not going to get approved for the amount that you want at the rates that you want because you don't have these insider connections, right? These insider connections let you skip the line. And then I like to use analogies. And so I heavily use the analogy of being able to skip the line at like the busiest nightclub in the city, or getting a reservation at any restaurant you want, right? Because you know the manager, whatever, right? So you use analogies if you're trying to explain or condense down complex topics. And so so the insider connections solve the problem mechanism, which is the gatekeeping, right? Which causes them to not get the result no matter what they try. That's the most important thing, is you must remove all alternatives from their mind. Nothing else will work. Nothing. Because of my UPM, right? And that's why it's so important that you guys like have both.
That's super heat, bro. That's super heat. Bro, sophisticated side tangents, and we're gonna keep on fucking going because, bro, this has been value packed as fuck. Now, bro, right? We walked over previously. You said the AI process for the scorecards, right? And of course, we use like a similar process for crafting ads, right? But when you understand the specific phrases, we went to Reddit, we've used that Chrome extension, we've done all of these elements, right? Like, how do you use this brief to craft profitable ads on the front end?
Yeah, so like actual copy. Yeah. So I have let's say I have my mechanism. And I have my mechanism, I have my deep research, all that stuff. I'll add it all to a Manus project. And what I like to do is I like to take competitors' ads. So like I have that whole document with my competitor ads. I like to at least take out one. And then what I like to do to start with a Claude chat, first of all, the instructions. So I have very specific instructions within the Claude project. Very specific. I'm working on an entire guide for this, by the way. So like this will all come out. But within those instructions, I open up a new chat. I say, like, hey, Claude, I want you to analyze this ad. And I want you to, there's a few things. So one, I have to tell it who I'm speaking to. So I want you to write me 10 ads that speak to Devin. I'll give them a name, actually. Devin is a demographic, psychographic thing they're struggling with, etc., from the deep research thing, right? And sometimes I'll just make it simple. Devin wants to scale his agency. He knows it's possible, but he's stuck on a hamster wheel dealing with client fulfillment and doesn't have the time to actually scale his agency, right? He's lacking time. That's a specific angle, right? And then I'll say, I want you, so Devin there, I want you to take the ad that I'm pasted right here, use it as inspiration, keep the writing style the same, insert however many characters, right, the ad is, and then write 10 variations of the ad inspiration for Devin. That's not the exact prompt, obviously. Click send, it'll output a bunch of things. From there, really, I'll do like one of two things. Either it'll give me the output and I'll see an ad that's not the greatest, or let's say they're all not the greatest, right? This is the funny thing about AI copywriting, is you have to be good at copywriting. You have to know why it's bad, right? And so, by the way, I also have a whole prompt on hooks, creating hooks, like with open loops, catalysts, all that stuff. And so building curiosity, etc. And so I'll add that to my Claude projects as well. Be like, okay, Claude, keep everything about the ad the same, but for each ad, use and then hooks training file, I think it's called. Use the hooks training file to create extremely compelling, highly persuasive, and curiosity laden hooks for each ad. And then it'll do that. Now it's gotten a little bit better, right? And so again, these are 15 ads. It edits them in like batches. Okay, cool. That's fine. But let's say like the transition is bad. Like let's say the transition from, hey, like you're struggling with XYZ. Let's say the transition into the mechanism isn't that great, right? Oh, I have to prompt it. How does it improve the mechanism, right? So I have to prompt it like, before transitioning into the mechanism, amplify the pain, right? Of what the prospect will experience if they don't solve this problem, right? And then I want you to introduce something like that as an example, right? And so I'll go block by block and it'll just output me all these things, right? Now, what I've noticed is that over time in that chat, I can get less specific with my prompts, right? And I can just say, like at the end of a chat, I can literally say, I can give it a narrative structure, right? So I'll be like, create me 15 ads with the following structure. Catalyst hook, which it has that training file. It knows what that is. It needs to know what that is. Catalyst hook to result that catalyst achieves, right? For and then mention specific pains that solution alleviates, whatever, and then go into mechanism, blah blah blah, and then CTA with offer. And I can literally just like it's like lines of like the actual building blocks, and it'll get good enough to actually spit it all out because it has history, right? That's the way that I do it. Is that the most effective? Probably, hell no. But that it's gotten me really, really good results. What's really important is enforcing the writing style within the Claude instructions. And so I'll have it just open this. So if I go to projects right here, I go to instructions, your core principles. So when your core principles, this is after the rest of the prompt. These copywriting principles are non-negotiable and must inform every piece of work you produce. Digestibility is key. All copy you produce must be highly readable. You will write at a 5th grade reading level. You will use clear, concise language that is not confusing. The writing style needs to be punchy. Each sentence/idea should feel like a new revelation that keeps the viewer hooked, needing to find out what comes next. You will use power words when necessary to drive home ideas and build immense curiosity and intrigue in the message, and then ensure each idea naturally flows into the next idea, building upon the overall argument. It should feel like a crescendo that builds and builds until the resolution. This, I added those, and like, I swear to God, my output, like, it started to actually write like copy, like amazing full copy, because it'd be clunky sometimes. It'd do the offer, right, and do the social proof, and it was like super clunky. It was like a jump between the two. It didn't read like naturally, right? Added that, improved so much, right? It's like the instructions are really, really important. Once you have enough history with the chat, it gets really good, right? But you have to make sure that you have to know how to change copy if it's bad. That's you have to be good at
For sure, bro. Prompt engineering is what you mentioned. If you don't understand the direct response copywriting principles, how can you engineer AI to craft winning copyright? It's very difficult.
Correct.
You can't. Right? That's when you need to understand the principles. That is game. That's for the copy, right? Of like the actual like caption of the ad, right? Now, in terms of specific creative formats, of course, it depends on the conversion mechanism and like industry, market, etc., right? But first of two things, right? How do you test creatives on like a campaign kind of approach? And the second thing, what formats have you seen work the best?
Okay. So my my campaign structure right now, which I'm like constantly iterating on, and I'm like in this weird middle where like a month ago this structure was like my winning thing. It was like the best, but recently I'm changing things around. My campaign structure right now is CBO for CBO scaling campaign. And then for each ad set, it is actually I say scaling campaign. This is my only campaign. So that's one thing that I do a little bit differently. But I have a CBO scaling campaign, and then I have different ad sets for different concepts. And so a concept, again, is pretty much an angle, which is tied to a persona, right? And sometimes I'll add in new things like I'll add in a specific offer or an offer frame, right? Or I'll add in like a unique like awareness level if I know that a certain kind of prospect is more aware or less aware of this thing. That is a concept. So from that concept, that's how again, like, remember I mentioned like the ads and the scripting and all that stuff, where I mentioned like Devin who deals with XYZ. That's the building block of a concept, right? And so when I write the copy, I write like a bunch of variations for one concept. That's one ad set. And then as many concepts as I think is necessary, depending on the amount of spend as well. So if it's like a fresh campaign, like fresh new spend, they're only going to spend like $300 a day. I'll do like one, maybe two concepts max. Sometimes what I'll actually do, sometimes what I will do is I will add like a brand new campaign. I'll literally create one CBO, one campaign, one ad set, and include all bunch of different concepts into that same ad set. Because like with Andromeda, it requires aggressive creative variance, right? In terms of not just the format and the media type, etc., but also like primarily the messaging, right? And so what I'll do is I'll just add all those into there. And then once I start to see some stability in winners, then I'll take them out. For scaling spend, I'll take them out and then I'll create a new ad set. I'll just literally just like create a new ad set in that campaign with a dedicated concept. What I do is minimum spend rules. So instead of doing a creative testing campaign separate, I'll just have minimum spend rules on my concepts at the ad set level.
Interesting. Yeah, we run it slightly differently.
Yeah, like the one thing that I've learned is that there's literally no right way to run an ad account. I have guys that are literally testing interest still and they're performing fine. Like at a certain point, like what I'm experiencing right now is, and what a big change that I implemented is adding bottom of funnel assets into every concept. Like it doesn't matter because again, as I mentioned, it naturally acts as retargeting. What I'm noticing though is that like at scale, certain ads, especially right now, will get like an outsized distribution and spend, and like outsized allocation and spend, more so than previously. Previously, I could have like 3-4 ads to get a pretty good amount, pretty good. But now it almost always, like sometimes other ads will get 0. That's my fault though, because again, Andromeda reads like your MAP5 hash. It reads your thumbnail in the first 3 seconds of your ad. And if it's not the same, if it's similar to another ad, it counts it as the same. And so what I have to ensure is that they're like wild new variations, which is tough when you're trying to create, 5 to 7 ads within a concept, right? Now, what I will say is that with this ad, that's like one struggle, but stability in terms of like scaling this, like I've been testing this pretty well. Like stability with scale is pretty damn solid, right? Now, here's my deal. I pretty much like there's cases where I'll do like horizontal scaling where I'll just literally duplicate out a campaign, same budget, run them both at the same time, right? If clients like, hey, we need to boot, like we need to jump, we need to double spend. But I'm almost always a 20% incremental spend every single day if KPIs are staying within or if metrics are staying within KPI kind of person. Like very old school, because I want stability and I want scale that's smart, right? But if we're doing like a push for a webinar, we need to double our spend. I will just horizontal scale, duplicate the campaign out, like literally duplicate the campaign, run both, right? And that's
interesting.
It's worked better because I've tested. Again, this is for the rare case where it's like double spend now, which is very rare. And if a client does tell you that, I would recommend saying, hey, no. But it's worked. I've tested that it's worked better than literally going into the campaign, editing, and then increasing the spend manually, just horizontally duplicating it out. Constantinos gave me that idea. Constantinos, he's a Facebook ads coach on YouTube. And so I tried that out. That works really well. Now, as for creative testing, because of the structure of the ad account, makes testing very, very easy in terms of visible data. Because like I can see what ad is performing, like I have it all labeled, my naming conventions are good, and then I see the concept that ad is under. And so I can tell because like based off of how I named my concept, oh, cool, this avatar with this angle at this awareness level is performing really well. And this specific ad with this format and this narrative structure is performing really well, right? Because I have everything templated like in a Google Drive, all that stuff, right? Like tracked. And so it's very easy to understand what winners are winners and why they are winners, right? And what's kind of like some like correlatory data between them, right? It's pretty easy. And so from there, if I see like one ad first let me get into formats. Formats that I've seen work really, really well right now. Podcast, but it has to be done well. So you actually have to have 2 people talking, not the fake podcast shit that people do because everyone knows that it's fake. Have 2 people talking, and it looks really well. If you have a co-host, just do that. Green screen, really well, because it's very, very native feeling. Direct to camera will always work. FaceTime. I tried like a FaceTime ad. Literally a FaceTime ad.
Wait,
Yeah.
How did it work?
So like it's the bad thing is like you have to script an ad that's specific for this format, but it's like you start off and you're holding the phone, you're recording like this, you're holding a phone here, and you're on FaceTime, and this works like really well for testimonials, but it's also really engaging because people see like that FaceTime, they're like, oh, what are they about to talk about? Rather than like an interview screen where it's like, oh, this is a case study, I'm about to be sold. And so like we'll just record that, and then like it's the same kind of copy that would be on a testimonial, but just like on the FaceTime thing. Sometimes I will try this for like direct response, not bottom of funnel, but top of funnel as well, right? Because like just because of the format that works well. So this is unique to specific, like our highest performing ad in one of the real estate offers is literally the guru at like the property. And so this is like an overall trend that I'm seeing is like tactical proof that isn't a fucking Lambo. Because everyone knows that you can rent one or finance one with Creo. Like everyone knows that now. And so anything that isn't like material, but it's like actually your thing, the thing that you do. What I'm really seeing now, also broad concept, show, don't tell. If you can try to figure out a way to show the thing rather than saying the thing, you will win. And I try to operate like this in like most of my ads now, showing, not telling, right? And it's difficult with like a lot of online businesses because it's like, oh, well, I mean, you know, it's all online, it's all a screenshot. Like, yeah, but how can you get creative with it? Like the green screen ads I'm talking about, like most of my winning formats, it's like it's a green screen of a news article, right? And that works really well with my catalyst hooks, right? It's a green screen of a news article, something like that, right? So that's like recent, something that's like, again, showing, right? Showing proof where it's not coming from you, right?
Yeah. That's like
And so,
like the YouTube guy, Ravi, the organic guy, he talks about this concept of like subconscious communication, right? It's like when he takes like sales calls, he's like deliberately got like high value books on his shelf and stuff that kind of communicate that, right? Is that kind of like a similar concept?
Yeah. So that's like, especially if you're dealing with BizOp, like your clients, like the guru is pretty much going to have that by default. Like they're going to have things that communicate their value, like by default. It's still very important. Like it's still very important, like everywhere. My only shift is what that value is. Like again, there's Lambo fatigue, there's Miami guru fatigue, right? Like people are sick of it because and everyone thinks that you're a scam. Another format, by the way, this is both copy but also visual, is the anti-guru positioning. And specifically, it's like this, it's like the following, this is like basically word for word the copy. It's like, I have a question. If I was able to make XYZ with whatever thing, why can't you? Like I'm asking this because I'm not special. Actually, I'm kind of stupid and I'm really, really lazy. So something like that, what's important there is the tonality. And so this is another macro trend, like just period, is just the tonality through which you deliver whatever the message is. And I've talked about this a lot. Fuck, tonality matters so much, like so much. Oh my God. If you spend more, if you guys just spend more time with your clients, literally teaching them how to speak in front of a camera and deliver a message in specific ways and adjust their pacing and their volume and how they sound when saying certain things, because they're just given a script and they're like, oh, it changes everything.
For sure. Yeah, it's like
Changes everything.
Never Split the Difference. Chris Voss, FBI, like he's a negotiator. Never Split the Difference, right?
Yes.
He kind of talks about the 7-38-55 rule, right? 7% of communication is words, 38% is tone of voice, and a massive 55% is body language. Right? That's the concept that we're laying out here.
Damn, I didn't know it was 38%. I didn't even know about that stat. Yeah, that's
7% is what you say. Right?
It's the actual thing that you're saying, yes.
Yeah, like people say, like, I don't know, if you're an info marketer, right, it's meaningless. If you're an info marketer, right, it's like more enthusiasm, more charisma. It's kind of grabbing them by the throats, right?
Yes.
That is game.
Yes.
That is game.
Yes.
That FaceTime format, by the way, is super interesting.
Yeah. I just like, I like to like just think of random. Another one. B-roll always. B-roll. Yeah, B-roll crushes. B-roll really crushes. Where it's like, again, but native format. So whatever text that you're using, just tell your editors whatever. like however they're doing their captions, make it look like the Instagram default like editing page, so it looks like an actual post, but it's an ad. And then this is good for anything actually. Like I've used it for top of funnel, like super top of funnel, like where I'm actually introducing the problem and this is a blah blah blah. I've used it for bottom of funnel where I'm literally just showing proof. It works really well and it's very, very easy to create dozens and dozens of variations from it. On the static side, what I'm seeing work right now is let me open it. First of all, notes format always works well. Sorry, I'm literally opening this right now.
Statics crush. I like those health ones, those ugly native ones, where just like a picture of like a toe, like a toe with fungus on it. Those crush.
Yes. So I have a client who's running info right now, and you know what? No, actually, I'm gonna respect him. I'm not even gonna share that. I'm gonna respect him because he really worked on this, and yeah, never mind. I'm sorry. I do have to gatekeep that. If it was me, I'd share it, but just to respect him. But just from what you said, I'm just gonna say it can work really, really well. Now also another static form that really works. I tried this and it was the highest performer in our ad account for a month. Is a static format is you know like the world star. I made a post about this again on my Twitter. Like the world star for it's like the big bold headline. You have like the little red thing that says like news, whatever, and then you have like a sub headline. That works really well. Really well. You just have to be good at writing headline-esque copy.
They crush.
Like new style copy.
Yeah. I know like Sabi Subi, he ran like a few of them back in the day. Like I modded them when I was doing like a funnel for myself. I took pictures in like Marbella, done like the headline and stuff. But bro, they crush as well.
I like take like specifically from like big social media pages and like that. Like I literally copy them, like color, logo, everything except for the actual name because compliance. But I literally copy the exact structure. So my principle with ads is like make it look as native as possible if you can. Make it look like an organic post if you can. Guys do this, like this is what e-coms do. This is what they preach. Make it look native. And so that's like for statics, but then also for video. Again, like just traditionally, if I just slap this into an ad account, I know it's going to perform just selfie style. Style, default Instagram captions, no fancy edits, just jump cuts. Crushes. It crushes. The copy has to match the format. And then the person again has to be charismatic and convey and have good tonality. But yeah, it crushes. Cardinal Mason style. I'll say that, and then people will know what I'm talking about. About what I mean there.
Bro, do you add when you do those like raw, authentic like ads? Do you add B-rolls between like clips or just like the video of the client?
Sometimes I will. What I do add is like so it'll be the raw file and then I'll format it. I'll like change the aspect ratio and I'll move my editor, I told him to do this. I'll move it down. I'll leave some black space where I have like a headline and it's just an open loop. That's all it is. Super curiosity laden open loop. Right. And it's literally just one piece of text that's there for the entire video. Sometimes I'll add B-roll if the script gets amplified with B-roll. If not, then just talking head, act like this is an organic post where you're trying to provide value, whatever. All right, like that format. Sometimes I won't even add B-roll. Sometimes I won't add music. Right, because I'm trying to make it look as organic as possible.
Like what's that quote in like the marketing world? Kind of like, if it seems like an ad and looks like an ad, it's probably an ad. And then the people are going to grow resistance, right? Like Savage Shibi, once again, we brought his name up like a lot of times. Went over his course a while back. He kind of said, of course, make the creatives blend in natively with the feed, right? Some of his creatives, I remember, he just took there's a picture of him with like a bag on the right-hand side and he circled the bag. And then the entire angle of it was like, okay, this bag kind of consists of something that holds the key to your success as a business owner, right? But like, these concepts, I think that's like the direction. Yes. Like now, bro, we talked about like unique mechanisms, right? Like you walked over your example. What I hate in the industry, do you know like the hook? Like attention coaches and online agency owners will guarantee X amount of calls on your candidate in 30 days or less. I hate that shit so much, bro. Like
Yeah.
that is commodity bucket.
It's the laziest. Like yeah, they're gone. Everyone's gone now. By the time you got to the offer, everyone's gone because you're the 10th person. You're the 10th person. Sorry. Like my writing style is almost exclusively like problem aware, unaware, almost exclusively. If it's a sophisticated market, of course, you adjust to the sophistication of the market, and I'll go into perceived solution aware. But I almost never go direct to offer, like almost never. Like
Interesting. Well, like not even in like B2B ultra sophisticated markets.
No, of course I have the offer. Of course, I mean in my lead, because there are a million better things that you could say with that time real estate in the ad to actually get them wanting to hear more, right? There's so many more things you could do. So many more things that by the time you do get to the offer, they're like, where do I sign up? Right?
Yeah.
Rather than the inverse, right? This has been the case. This has always been the case. Like great leads, like the book, like they literally talk about this, right? It's like offer-based leads in copy, like they're great. They're the laziest kind of copy, right? And they're the laziest. You do it when it's a max sophisticated market. You're just trying to drum up some sales. Like that's what you do, right? But there's so many other things. There's so many other things that you should do than just go straight to offer.
Yeah, I agree. It's like pitch anything but on Clash. If you guys haven't read the book, I highly recommend you pick up a copy. In there, he kind of mentions, like, kind of psychologically speaking, right, the crocodile part of the brain. And if you're seeing a message and that message is not seen as new, dangerous, or exciting, the crocodile brain like ignores it, and then like it's not going to be processed into the part of the brain where we take the action, right? So like with the ads that you're crafting, right, you intentionally look for like things that you can apply to make it seem like, oh my fucking god, that this is brand new, bro. This is getting my attention, right? Is that your underlying philosophy?
So if I can, this is like my whole thing with the catalyst hooks. My favorite format of all time is, I'll just give you an example. This new AI Facebook update is letting XYZ avatar, whatever, achieve blah 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 outcome, right? In half the time, whatever, right? Then you go into Y, and then you go into how your process leverages it, right? You go into remove alternatives, and then you go into your pitch. That is, if I can have a hook where something external from what I am saying is the catalyst for the justification of the rest of my copy, and especially if it's new, then I'm going to do that. Literally every AI offer right now is built off of that principle. Every AI agent, AI BizOp, AI agency, whatever, it's built off of that principle, right? And so if I will find an opportunity, I will find a thing to add to my ads to achieve that, and they almost always just crush it, just absolutely crush it. And so that is honestly my favorite format. Like that is my favorite format of all time. Catalyst hook, my favorite shit.
Oh yeah. And like another thing, after we go over, because I want to discuss the state of the current industry, especially within info marketing, growth operators, and even offer owners, right? One more final question I've kind of got is, by the way, do you want to dive into like this Q&A after as well, kind of when we're wrapping up? Because we received like a decent amount of questions.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Like briefly.
Yeah, just briefly. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I can do them after. Like now, with the ads to funnel, right? Congruency. How do you maximize conversion rates from cold ad to the conversion mechanism, the main landing page? Like, for example, like let's say you have a concept on the front end, right? Do you also mention that concept on your landing page? Like, how do you ensure that congruency?
So what I'll actually do at scale is I'll create specific landing pages for, like, if I have concept in ad set where it's specific avatar, right? Specific awareness level, like if I change, although I pretty much always keep the mechanism the same because the mechanism is a mechanism. but I will literally create separate landing pages for each concept. So if now this is at scale, and if I have demonstrable proof that certain concepts are performing well, and that what I should do is on the landing page side of things, get like drill specifically into whatever avatar and whatever angle I'm like using, then I will do that. Right. And so like real easy example. I have a concept again. I'm selling marketing coaching. This is blah, blah, blah. And I have two concepts. One is targeting dentists, right? And one is targeting contractors, right? Um, obviously the ads are different. If I'm first launching, what I'll do is I'll have a landing page that communicates the most important parts without speaking specifically to the avatar, right? Like in the beginning. So I'll have like actually dentist and contractors, that's a bit different. In that case, I would literally do an entire thing, like an entirely new thing. But for for I can literally do an example now. Like if I'm targeting e-com brands, right? I can have skincare brands, I can have pet brands, I can have whatever, and I can have different revenue levels, right? Let's say those are all like concepts, like different assets I'm testing under concepts. My initial test is I'm just going to call out e-com brands. That's it. I'm just going to call out e-com brands, right? I'm not going to get specific into the blah blah blah. Now, if I've ran for a month or 2 months, however long, if I'm scaling and I'm seeing that one concept is outperforming, like by a significant margin, or let's say they're even both performing, I'm going to be like, okay, cool. I'm going to create two separate variations of landing pages that both talk to these concepts individually. Attention skincare brands, right? This blah blah blah, and then I'll get into specific because I have my market research doc for both, right? So I'll be like, because skincare brands care about different things than pet brands do, right? And so they have different problems, right, etc. And so I'll make sure that my headline, my subheadline, is congruent there from the ad at scale. But I really do start with just one landing page that isn't specific enough where they will disqualify themselves, right? And the easiest way to do that is just in your VSL, just call out this works for. That's what Hormozy does. So Hormozy like for his now he's Hormozy, so you know he can kind of get away with whatever. But he has for a scaling workshop, he'll have like a bunch of different ads calling out everybody, but then on the main page, he'll literally have he'll have listed out who this is for. This works if you are a home contractor, chiropractor, beauty salon, home services business, etc., etc., etc. Right? Grant Cardone does the same thing as well. He has one landing page only, but he has separate offers for like 10x home, 10x service, all that stuff. But yeah, that's my SOP for like congruency.
Well, that's super heat. That's super heat. Like, how would that work? Let's say, right, just like a theoretical example. Let's say I'm selling an Airbnb biz op, right, for the US market,
Yeah.
right? Of course, testing concepts for like, let's say, one of them is calling out truck drivers, the other one's calling out stay-at-home mums, right? If you see these concepts really, like resonating with proof of concept, would you just simply take that like stay-at-home mums and then craft a landing page that speaks directly to them, like in a nutshell, right?
Yeah. So yes, essentially, yes. And so what I'll do is attention stay-at-home moms, main headline. And then usually what I do in my sub headlines, especially for BizOp, is I remove the perceived doubt of their ability to achieve the thing. So it's like headline, get this thing without needing to blah 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 blah. Right. And so if I'm doing one for stay-at-home moms, I'll do without sacrificing time with your kid, even if you're busy, packing lunches, and cleaning the house from when you wake up to when you go to bed, all those things specific to that. But I'll keep the main like outcome thing the same because that's a control, right? That's an independent. You don't need to change that anywhere there. But I'll just call out in like my eyebrow copy, call out the person, then subheadline is specific to their situation, specific to what could maybe hinder them from getting the result, right? Now you can get interesting when it comes to VSLs, when it comes to like crafting specific messaging for VSLs, right?
I was going to touch on that question.
Yeah. So it can get messy, it can get interesting. I generally I generally won't like split test specific VSLs. Um, it'll come, but I feel like it'll come, and it might be like it might be a big lever actually to test against. But like as we mentioned in the beginning, um, like the whole forced consumption thing, it's like I don't I know that I mean, again, look at your engagement graph. I know that a large percentage of people who opt in aren't going to watch the VSL, and in the VSL anyway, is I do call out the problems, but if I do have specific avatars, I'm just going to say this works if you're blah blah blah, and then I'll just have case studies for all of these people, right? Because I have more real estate. I have more like actual real estate where I can say this works if you're a stay-at-home mom. This works if you're a what example did you say?
Truck driver.
Yeah, this works if you're a truck driver, etc. Like I can just call all those out and say this works if you're a blah blah blah, and then specific case studies for each, right? And so I will do that, right? That's because like that's just the premise of my VSL, and I kind of keep it the same. Could I split test it with very specific messaging for both on both VSL sides? Sure. Haven't gone to that level of granular yet. Do you guys do that?
We haven't tested the VSO intros. We have tested, however, problem-centric and ICP-specific ICP callouts, RO section, headline, sub-headline, etc. The VSO intro, we haven't got our feet wet. Maybe let's say now, if you're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? And then these concepts are, of course, driving like a lot of traffic. It could be worth a test. Of course, the VSO speaking then language. But yeah, we haven't tested that yet.
Yeah. No, yeah, same. Not yet. I think there's a level where also maybe not, but yeah, I have not gotten to that yet. Maybe I will. I think it's mainly because if we were able to just create AI VSLs like fully like front to back, then I mean, of course, you push a button and you're ready to go. But we have to deal with the editors and the downtime, the recording, all that stuff. It's a lot of operational drag. So no, I have not gone to that level quite yet.
What would be interesting though is like, what if the intro section, like first 10 seconds is only outed? Meaning, let's say you're doing like an ICP call out based VSL, right? We call out the ICP, and then in the first 10 seconds, the problems are specific to them, and then it transitions into that evergreen section.
Into the normal. Like that could work. Yeah, that could work actually. That could work. Yeah, that's worth a split test because it's your opening, right?
Yeah,
that could be worth a shot. That could be worth a shot. Yeah. My main also another thing is like, so I have specific avatars and stuff like that I'll have like concepts of. I will have concepts that are just like I literally label as mass market. Like these that speak to everyone, and where it is just solely about the opportunity, the thing that I do this specifically in BizOp, solely about because it's BizOp. Like, everyone wants to make money. It doesn't matter. Like, so I'll have an ad set that's like just mass market, where it just solely talks about the opportunity, really hammering home like this thing, like right now it's going to blow up, like the urgency, like all that stuff, all the social proof, etc. Where I won't even call out a specific person, right? If anything, I'll call out, like, let's say you're doing the Airbnb thing, for example. What I would do there is, this is an avatar, but it's not like specific in terms of the the actual persona. It's more just awareness level. Is like, I'd be like, okay, cool. People have tried like Airbnb before, and so I will just create. I'll literally create. I'll create a concept, an ad set that speaks solely to people who have tried Airbnb before, right? Not gonna call out the truck driver. Not gonna call out the single mom. Just people who have tried this before. Right. And so that's just like awareness level segmentation that I'll do in the ad account. I do that pretty much everywhere, especially in BizOp.
But BizOp is a funny industry, bro. Like, I call these people, do you know these people that buy BizOp offers? I call them blue eaters. Like, they see every opportunity.
Well, they are blue eaters.
They just consume those messages, and then they don't see success in one vehicle, and then they're attracted by the next vehicle, go to that one. It's a crazy space. Like, me personally, bro, I'm not sure about you, but like selling mass market B2C, like we've done it heavy in the past. It is fun, but I see greater joy. I'm not sure if you're the same in like selling to like more sophisticated and aware customers who actually understand the power of longevity.
Yes.
Like it's a lot more difficult finding these industries, right? But bro, it's so enjoyable.
they're better clients. The sales call, like you actually want to. There's like this feeling of like because even if you have like a great biz op program, just statistically people aren't going to make it because they just will not implement, right?
Yeah.
And so like that makes it like if you're going more specific, you'll have higher success rates. The sales calls are always better. Like your closers are always way happier because 80% of the business's like P&L isn't dependent on fucking Klarna financing, right? Like that's another big one. Like if Klarna and Afterpay and Split It didn't exist, like 90%
Oh,
of BizOp offers would be
cooked.
hooked.
They'll be
Absolutely
cooked, bro.
cooked.
They'll
Done.
be cooked.
And you know what's funny is it's happening soon. Like I think these consumer they're not sustainable. They're not sustainable. These like consumer financing options are not sustainable, especially right now with the credit bubble. Mm-mm. We're about to see it. We're about to see a major shift soon, I believe. Just in terms of like just pure macroeconomics and how that's going to. But the thing is, BizOp makes the most money in market downturns. Alan
Yeah.
talked about
Bro,
that. It makes the
mm,
most money in market downturns.
bro, interesting how you say that. The state of the current industry, right? I remember, bro, I believe it
Mm,
was you. You replied to a post where it was like evolve ecom school community, right? Then you replied about,
yeah.
of course, it's not coincidental. The product is the cornerstone. Like the product does the selling, right?
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
you mentioned the changes in info. Of course, these like Klarna and stuff, right? They're going to become
Yeah.
less effective, right? But like, let's say going
Yeah.
into 2026, what drastic
Yeah.
changes do you see happening in the info marketing industry?
One, I think the information is going to become the bonus, not the main thing. For a lot of businesses that are still selling information, I believe that a combination uh of tech, so SaaS, which is just with how easy it is to implement now. And I can also test to like client of mine, they're running a low ticket funnel. Low ticket was literally a
Mm,
SaaS, right? And it was the exact same market that we were selling the coaching to. Um, Also hilarious, literally break even on the front end, like
that's
it's insane
bro.
for
That
for
bro,
a
that is insane. That's
software, by
insane.
the way, that doesn't happen. Like I was in SaaS, that does not happen, right? And so I think that's building that information going away, having I think everyone is going to need to eventually, if not transition over, at least have done for you assets within their offers already. If they don't now, like basically
Mhm,
pure coaching with courses is going to die, but it's been dying already. Like it's
mhm.
already been dying. It is going to continue to die as it should, in my humble opinion. Like another thing is just going to be stacking, and I mean stacking the value. So like again, with software, like give people a software, you give people leads, you give people systems, you give people like copy and paste things that they can actively implement. Maybe you have fulfillment on the back end that can actually do things for people, right? Because like people buy done for you. They love that stuff, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's the best offers to sell on cold are all done for you, right? And so I think that is going to become a lot more prevalent. And I think the coaching and the info side is actually going to take a back seat, and that's going to become the bonus rather than the focal point.
Interesting. Interesting. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts on real like life events, like where they actually come meet in person and stuff? Like, do you think that they're going to become like a lot more popular in 2026?
Oh my God, wasn't that Nick? Was an episode with Nick Fisher, right? Who was the guest? He was talking about that. He would know better than I would. Um, You definitely know better than I would. I believe so. Oh yeah, because Nick mentioned that with the growth of AI, it's going to become borderline indistinguishable and like impossible to figure out to know who's real or not if it's all through digital experience. And so the
Mm-hmm.
live stage is going to be the only thing that's left. I think that is very possible, but I do believe that that is far out, and I also believe that there is a certain type of person there's a certain type of person who actually goes out to events. And it's harder to convince like an introvert who like has their own learning style. They don't want to go out, they don't want to have to. It's certain kinds of people go out to events, right? It's usually people who are extroverted, who want to connect, who want to network, right? And so you're going to still attract those people. There might be more of those people, but there will always be the subset who's like, no, I don't want to go out to a live event. I'm good. I want to stay in the comfort of my own home. I want to be, etc. And so I still think that that is going to stay. But with the rate of how, my God, I mean, the new Nano Banana stuff, like everything,
Bro, it's
fully
insane, bro. It's
yeah,
fucking cooked. Bro, I
yeah,
saw like one guy, he was taking like pictures of him at like a museum. Like another picture was him with like drinking and wine stuff, right? Imagine you post on your Hinge
yeah.
profile, bro. Your conversion rates are increasing.
It's like, yeah. So this is what I know it's already happening. I know it is. The like trust is going to be basically non-existent when it comes to like lifestyle is going to be commoditized online, because now everyone can have a Lambo. Now everyone can be in a high rise in Miami. Everyone. And so as that becomes commoditized, we have to find things that can't be replicated. And like I was going to mention this before, but this is not relevant right now. Like I genuinely do believe, like our for one of our people, one of the biggest like the most important feedback from the calls was that the prospects love the guru. Like they love the personality. Like they say like he's real, blah blah blah. He explains things simply, all that stuff. And I think genuine resonance with the person, with the guru, with the coach, with the head, like that's going to be even more important. Personal, interpersonal connection. Because the material stuff, everyone's gonna have the case studies, everyone's gonna have that stuff, right? And so all that's left is that interpersonal connection with you and the prospect.
Yeah, because I remember when the OG direct response books I read, Stockholm Sequence, Russell Brunson, of course, right? And there he talked about the attractive character, and one trait to, of course, harness is bring out the flaws of your attractive character, right? The moment when you're seen too perfect online is the moment that is too unfathomable for your audience, right? Like out like flaws, like let's say, like not like you mentioned it perfectly, right? Like you were like, okay, I'm lazy. Okay, like the person that you're speaking to is likely the same, right? But you can't say, bro, like I'm a hustler, I'm living in Miami, I'm living this great life. Look what I'm doing, bro. I'm buying these APs, I've got this Lambo. You can't perceive that because then it's too unfathomable, right?
Yeah. I literally have a section in our Google document about the hero's journey, an adjustment that I make that I'm making to every single offer, every single like hero's journey in a VSL is I don't even talk about like the excess. What I talk about is their discovery when they first made it, so everyone has like the where they were at, right? Like the beginning of the hero's journey, but I now end it at when they discovered that the system could actually work for them, their first sale, their first client, the realization that this unlocked everything, that this changed everything, because they can do it once, they could do it 100 times, 1,000 times over and over again, and they did. And I ended there. I don't talk about the Lambos and the trips and the girls and all that stuff.
Like that,
I don't do it. I don't do that anymore, because now you're like, oh, you are random Instagram person now, right? No, tell me more about how you got your first sale, because I can do that. I can do that, right?
Real rap, bro. Real rap. It's also in a claims, bro. It's also in a claims. Like I saw one, I think it was publishing.com or so. They, instead of saying like 10 to 20K a month, they broke it down into
I mentioned
increments.
this. Yes. I also had a post about this. Yes, I had a post about this. Yes, so important. So important. The biggest especially in BizUp, but like the biggest programs ever in BizUp that did tens of millions of dollars, their claim, make an extra $50 to $200 a day.
Yeah, there's no coincidental.
Almost all of them. All of the ones that partner with Paul. You had the one where it's like was like learning how to sell ad space. Like all of these was an extra couple $100 a day. And now, obviously, if your program is geared towards like scale and doing all that stuff, it's literally just condense the time frame to get a specific number, right? Like a very specific number. And what I like to do actually is make it specific to the offer. So like Airbnb, for example, it's like get your first, how does Airbnb work? Like you get a thing under under contract.
You get like you rent out like a property on like Zillow or like another platform, and then you essentially like put it
Yeah.
on Airbnb. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll do like get your first cash flowing Airbnb property that can net you, and then like literally static amount in as little as, and then shortest possible time frame. Not right. Do not
Okay.
guarantee. In as little as is very important there. You do not guarantee any time frames. But yeah, so like very specific and a very specific number. I almost never do like a month. Like I never do income. I almost never do
Interesting.
income. Yeah, I
But so
never
like,
do
bro,
income. And
it's like, what do your outcomes look like? Is it just like the life that you're
yeah,
selling, like the dream outcome? Like, how did it look like?
yeah. So I'll read here, I'll just literally just read this one.
By the way, guys, before he reads his headline, this has been fucking value packed as fuck.
It's been so good,
put,
so good, dude.
Bro, we should put a 997 price tag on this. Got people to book a call and then send them into a fucking coaching program, bro.
We should, but I need a coaching program. I need to be able to take clients. I literally don't even take clients. I don't have anything. I'm not monetizing any of this. I just like do my clients offers, and that's it. I'm gonna open up a school community with a couple of absolute killers, and we're literally just going to dump everything there, and we're going to have a price, and it's going to be $500 a month, and that is literally your fee to even be able to access this, because we're trying to filter it and only have high level people in there. So that is coming, not to plug or anything, because it's literally not even built yet. Okay. So if I go right here, 1 second. Oh, this is like really good though. Lord. So let me just find this lander, my bad. Okay, so headline, by the way, this is our this is the lowest cost per book call on a real estate. It's kind of like a real estate biz op offer. It is mass market. And 80% of the clients who come through have never tried real estate before, and they haven't really heard of wholesaling either. Like they've maybe watched a couple of videos, but they never tried it. And so this is more mass market biz op. This we've gotten, like there was a 2-week long period where we got $30 cost per qualified, like financially qualified calls. Okay. Headline: Steal this $100 million developer's land flipping formula that generates 5,000 to 15,000 in pure profit from one simple deal without needing any special licenses, thousands in startup capital, and even if you have zero real estate experience whatsoever. And so what I like to do for almost like almost any real, like when it comes to the outcome, it's just the thing. Like whatever your program is, just like extract out the thing, how much money they can make from like one deal, one transaction. If it's e-com, then I would do like sell for that one I might do revenue. I do revenue, but I never do income. And so I'll do revenue if need be. There's one that was really good where it was a high ticket e-com offer, high ticket dropshipping offer, and their claim was, instead of selling $20 trinkets from China, sell 1 to 2 $2,000 high ticket e-com items a day, right?
Mm-hmm.
No income claim whatsoever. Number one, you stay FCC compliant. Number two, people hate income claims. Like they're so avert. You're literally explaining what they can do in the headlines. Like you're selling them, but it sounds believable, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like this $100 million developers, first of all, authority, then land flipping formula, obviously the thing, the premise, the idea, the mechanism, and then it's one deal that can make me $5,000 to $15,000. What if I get 2 deals? What about 3?
Mm-hmm.
One simple deal. Okay, so if I get 3, then I can make 45 grand. Let them imagine. Giving them in my personal opinion, telling someone how much income they can make is literally one, it's attracting the worst possible demographic like imaginable, and 2 is insulting the intelligence of your audience and of your traffic. In my personal opinion.
That's
It's also
game.
not creative. Be creative.
That's game. Bro, this has been value packed as fuck. And I don't want to stop here, right? But we have received a few questions on Twitter, right? I believe if you're on the same wavelength as me, let's go over them.
Let's do it.
Okay. We received a
Oh shit!
few. Yeah,
Is
your
my camera
camera
off?
stopped. Yeah, your camera cut off for a moment.
One second. Hello. There we
Yeah,
go.
with that.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Easy. But like, let's go over these ones. I quote
Do it.
tweeted the one that we posted December 1st, which got decent engagement
Yeah,
from
yeah.
you. The first question is by my friend. He works on an incredibly big fitness offer. He said, can
Okay.
running cold ads towards your program overcome the problem of having broke cheats on your organic? And how do you not let the organic following go to complete waste?
Ooh. One. So first of all, your in this case, like your organic, if you're running paid advertising, like they work off of each other, but if you're running paid advertising, you kind of treat organic as a distribution system. Like you don't treat it as a distribution system anymore. The distribution system is the paid advertising. And so what you're going to do is just answer his question, because like you know the answer to this. Like you're going to target US, etc. And the profile is there solely as a kind of portfolio trust building asset, right? Like to be fair, I've seen data in this inside another like so high level operators ad account and like tracking dashboard, where he literally tracked that 50 or 60% of ad clicks on the Instagram placement did not click on his ad. They clicked on his profile, went through his profile, then clicked on the link in his bio. And so your profile on Instagram acts as a portfolio. And so you need to have your highlights that build trust. To structure this genuinely, like go to Nick's settings Instagram, just look at what the shit that he does and basically just fucking copy him. Have your highlighted posts, and it does not matter if the page following is Indian. It does not matter. You are sending paid traffic, paid US traffic to that page. As long as the page is optimized, it literally does not matter. Now, can you retrain your page to find people in the US? That's a more complicated question. If you spend enough, and if the percentage of net new followers that you get are from the US, they engage with your profile. Facebook sees these signals. Okay, cool. Let's adjust who we're showing these posts to. Maybe, to be fair, I'm not an expert when it comes to like organic mechanisms at all. I've never seen that honestly work. In theory, it makes sense, but if you're running paid ads, treat paid ads as the distribution system, not organic. That's the main thing.
Fire. Macaran, there's the answer. Max. David, who I've done a podcast with, just replied with the eyes emoji. Fine. Colby, who I believe is an ecom guy. He's been like an OG ecom on Money Twitter. What kind of ads, any vertical, are you guys seeing do well or catch your eye for competitive markets right now where customers are highly skeptical? Of course, Julius, we kind of touched on the format and stuff, but like
we did kind of touch on
hyper aware and highly skeptical markets, what ads are you seeing perform well for that industry? Two
formats. Not Miro board, like sharing screen and then person on the bottom, and then just sharing an immense amount of like just proving competence in the thing. Alongside your regular ad script, which is like with all the direct response principles, is like you must show immense competence in the thing. And so if you're targeting e-commerce brands, right, very, very highly skeptical, highly sophisticated market. I've seen actually literally recently, because I added this guy to my swipe file, and his ad really caught my attention. 800 likes, like insane amount of comments too. He was saying he was making an ad about the Andromeda update, right? And it was just a very, very broad, very non-CTA, like, hey, here's how the Andromeda update is going to change your e-commerce business, and if you're not paying attention to this, you're not going to make it going into 2026. Miro board, that's really sexy, looks very sophisticated. He went into the mechanism, but he framed it, he made it kind of feel like free value, right? And so you do have to kind of adjust in very sophisticated markets. You do have, especially like e-com, you do have to give more and show more and prove more and show more competence. That format is really good. Another one that I've seen also in a very skeptical space is camera top down notebook writing. Now, this is for not skeptical, but sophisticated market. So something like this would be, I would do this for B2B where you're explaining out a system very similar to the Miro board thing. If you're talking about skeptical market, and let's say they're not very similar, let's say it's B2C skeptical, any one I would test out the anti-guru positioning one, like where it was like the I'm just like you, etc. Your copy matters more than the format in that case. Like if it's B2C, like your copy matters a whole lot more than the format. The copy matters more than the format anyway, but especially with B2C. So I would recommend testing. I would recommend you just have to know how to write copy that overcomes skepticism in very saturated low trust markets. If they're low emotional state market, which some BizOp can be, I've seen this work really well. Where, and Alan touches on this, obviously, like the state emotional stages in the markets and how to sell to each. Low emotional state, just tell them, like, show them that it's not their fault, that they're not where they want to be right now because of external forces that are not in their control. That just builds immediate empathy, and empathy like automatically breeds trust. And so like I've tested that out and it has worked. But you have to know that your market is low emotional state. You said skeptical, right? Skeptical is one thing. Are they sophisticated or low emotional state? It depends.
Game. By the way, when that school community drops, this will be an insane marketing collateral to divert traffic to that school community. I'm joining, by the way, bro. I'm joining. Drop the link.
Fuck yeah, bro. Hell yeah.
Okay, Caden, who seems he's in B2B marketer, his bio says, what is the ideal funnel for a B2B SaaS to cover all acquisition channels, cross-sells, upsell, etc., and set it up for future success? Interesting. We walked over this, but yeah, I can respond to this question.
Okay, just really. Okay, so you said SaaS funnel that covers what?
To cover all acquisition channels, cross-sells, upsell, etc. I'm assuming he's meaning like how to set up a conversion mechanism that cross-sells, upsells, and ascends. That's what I'm
right. Okay. This might be either I'm misunderstanding the question, or this is a stupid answer. He kind of answered his own question, like in a way. Well, the question was phrased weird, but yeah, have a like an intro offer for your SaaS that solves a very specific problem and has just, again, low ticket ascension like principles. Have a low ticket funnel that's like very immediate time to value. It's a SaaS, so that shouldn't be too hard. And then whatever problem that new thing introduces, you just introduce a new solution to that problem that you just created. And so SaaS is weird because it's usually like usage based. Is this B2B?
B2B, yeah.
Or is it B2C SaaS? Okay.
Yeah, B2B.
Yeah, B2B SaaS, I've seen two things work really well. I've seen the Hyros way, where you just charge upfront for usage and the offer is a discounted total and you literally don't let them do anything else. I've seen that work. I've seen obviously the traditional, like, dude, if you want something that just works all the time, like you just do a free trial, you require their credit card on the checkout stage, you do a free trial, and then you ensure that you do everything humanly possible to get your activation rate as high as possible. Usually if you're not venture funded, that's very, very difficult to do. What you can do for billing is you can also just, like, what I would do maybe is go like the AppSumo route, where you would have, like, you sell a bundle of like 6 months, like just like upfront, and like you have some kind of bonuses, something else that would like incentivize them to get the higher ticket thing. I'd need to know about your pricing. I need to know your pricing. I need to know like all that stuff, because in SaaS specifically, like that determines kind of everything. SaaS is a tough beast. SaaS is really a tough beast. Like if you're going the direct response route, copy Hyros.
Alex Becker to go, by the way.
Level offer. Yeah. Huh? You said what?
Alex Becker, absolute goat.
Yeah. Oh, such a good. Oh my god. Yes. Absolute goat. Yeah. Yeah. So I would just copy Hyros, but then you have to have a Hyros level offer.
Okay, then hopefully that answers your question, my bro. MD, no bio, no digital presence, but he asked the question: how to decide how long an email sequence needs to be? Most personal brands use a lead magnet sequence and daily emails. Do you just continuously sell on each email or have a build up? in brackets for a high ticket community?
Oh yeah, I actually selling is the smallest of the percentage when I do emails. I usually just, I mean, again, depends on the context, but you said that this is nurturing after opt-in. And so what I'll usually do is I'll have like, when you say selling, by the way, if you like direct offer, like some promo or like percentage offer, something like that, offer email, like if you think of it as a 7-day sequence, just to make it really simple, like 4 out of those 7 days is just value. Building authority, convicting them on the mechanism, explaining the mechanism, and literally just giving away value, just straight up, just giving away stuff. And then maybe 2 out of the next 2 days is going to be case studies. And then on the last day, it'll be like offer, right? And I'll just nudge them. Like if you had to think about like the 7-day sequence like that. Again, I'm not an email guy because I fucking hate email. I think Messick, you would probably have better insight than me, but that's how I traditionally did it, and how I traditionally do it now too.
Yeah, hey, MD, my bro, I'm not sure what vertical you're in. We use a similar philosophy to Julius. Is even though, let's say we have CTAs in some of the emails, right? The CTAs, they're not aggressively selling. There's no like heavy direct response principle selling, right? It's like we do provide a value, but we softly sell them on the idea. So if they think it's necessary for them at a time, they can click this CTA. But our thought process is, with especially with launches, let's say we have a 7-day sequence. If 4 out of the 7 days we build up know, like, and trust like elements, establish ourselves as the go-to authority, the go-to savior to their problems, by the time we put them with call to action, they are propagandized. That's our philosophy with the emails. He also asked another question. When someone has a personal brand and selling a community, do they need to gear their content to a specific awareness level, or just hit all of them as the brand mostly does the selling? What about the VSL in that case? Headline, copy, and all that. I'm not sure what he's asking. Do they need to gear their content to a specific awareness level, or just hit all of them as the brand? Meaning, like, I think, like, honing in your targeting on one awareness level rather than going completely broad, I'm assuming.
I'd assume so. For that, it's an interesting question. It literally depends on, because like a market has an awareness level. There's like people there's always going to be people in a market who are unaware, who are problem aware, who are solution aware, like exclusively in those stages. But usually, like what's used with that, like the way that you can use that is like the majority of the market is either solution aware or problem aware. So depending on your niche, you should know that, whatever that is, and then. First of all, yes, talk to all awareness stages if you can, because this is a profile, right? Like this is a profile. But more importantly, is just like you create content that's geared towards the outcome that your specific avatar wants, which means that they're dealing with specific problems, which has to do with how aware, sophisticated they are, what they've tried before. And so your content should be geared towards that. Again, as an example, not to hammer this all the time. Like Nick Setting, he sells exclusively to info business owners, and he talks specifically to their problems and specifically to their level of awareness, right? So do the same thing. Yeah. Yes.
I agree with that, yeah.
And then what else did he ask? Like with the headline.
Oh, yeah.
Something. Yeah, same thing with the headline, subheadline, all that stuff. Same thing. Same exact thing.
Yeah, exact same thing. Just understand your ICP. Super simple.
Yes.
Noah, investor, helping business owners get access to funding. Interesting topic, mentioned it. AI automation and AI agents. Where are you hiring, finding sales reps for your new offers on launch? Best framework for sales scripting for back-end high ticket.
Oh, that's a couple questions in one. For sourcing, network is always the best source, always. So your network, if you have one, if you don't have one, pay someone to access theirs. If you don't have the money to pay someone to access theirs, don't hire salespeople. And then what was the second part of the question?
Let me go up again.
Sorry, I have not slept, by the way. Literally all nighter. I'm like, battery's getting depleted, bro. I need another Celsius.
Or like another Addy.
Both.
Oh yeah, the best framework for sales scripting for backend. I'm assuming like the best sales framework to close high ticket deals.
Right. To close high ticket deals. if you're asking that question, then what I would suggest to you is go to YouTube, look up Alex Hormozi Closer Framework. Now, when you say high ticket, by the way, very important distinction, because we categorize this stuff as high ticket. I worked in enterprise SaaS where a deal was like $1 million and the sales cycle was 12 to 16 months. That's actual high ticket. So if you're like talking about like enterprise level, like I don't think you are though, because you wouldn't be asking these questions. Talking about traditional high ticket online sales, go to youtube.com, look up Alex Hormozi Closer Framework, transcribe that video, add it to Manus or Claude, create a sales script or framework based off of my offer, give it info about your offer. It'll create one that's more than good enough. I've done that before when I was in a pinch. But you're at the level where you need to understand what a good sales framework even is. So I'd recommend you train yourself on that first. So go consume that video, consume the content in there, understand those principles, and then practice. Then just practice.
Yeah, principle-based thinking. Okay,
also, last thing. So sorry. Last thing, and I might not be understanding the question. If you don't have a sales framework yet, do not think about hiring closers. That's it.
True. Customer journey specific. Okay, Manik, he replied to your announcement for the podcast. Have you seen an increase in conversion if you offer a free trial class? The offer I am launching is in a non-make money online niche. Offer is something very similar to SAT group coaching.
Okay, so have I seen an increase in opt-in rate when there's a free trial?
Yeah, like increasing conversion rates if you offer a free trial. Yeah, like conversion rates.
Yes, always, yes, 100%. The thing is how many people are going to stay when you rebill. So it's activation rate that also matters next. And so blended, that's going to be like you're literally going to look at, again, AOV contribution for both, because that's the blended metric that matters here. Is like if it's just gated paid straight off the gate, like what's your CAC and then what's your AOV contribution for a customer after that CAC. And the same thing with the free trial. It's like what's your CAC there, what's your AOV contribution with your ascension percentage, right? I will say if this is monthly, it is infinitely easier to sell a static product day one and then add the MRR component as a cross sell, down sell, whatever. Frame it as a bonus because it's free after you already sell your low ticket thing. It's very hard to convert cold traffic on monthly recurring offers. SaaS companies have literally spent billions trying to figure it out.
Game. Bro, yeah, like those are the base questions. Bro, to be honest, bro, when I messaged you, right, I said I wanted to make this the most value-packed direct response podcast on the platform of YouTube, right? And I think if you agree, Julius, my bro, right? I think I agree, man. Achieved it. We have most likely achieved it. Like this, as I said, it should have been behind a paywall. We should have got people to make a 997 Stripe link. When they pay, they are redirected to a thank you page strategy session. We have closed on the back end selling a high ticket mentorship. That's what we should have done. And then on the back end, further ascension, we have an in-person mastermind event, 10K a ticket to join our mastermind. You know, that's what we should have done.
Minimum.
But we are bare minimum. But
next time.
But guys, this has been in the works for a long time. Of course, you guys have been asking for it. Julius is the main fucking man. Like, I'm going to be plugging the fuck out of his stuff beneath this, right? Like, just a Twitter for now, right? And then also the
This is my Twitter. I literally don't sell anything. I don't sell anything right now.
Right now, that's the key word.
Right now.
He doesn't sell anything right now, but his Twitter is value packed. Julius, my brother, it has been a pleasure. This will be dropped anytime soon. And yeah, bro, man, I appreciate all the gems, bro. Like I learned like a thing or two that I'm gonna begin implementing for our clients as well, bro. So it's been
hell, that's the best. That's the best. If I could, me too. Same here, by the way. Oh my god. I'm really going to be thinking about split testing the VSL leads, like with the 10-second thing to match it. That I'm really going to be thinking about. If you were able to get a couple nuggets, I am more than satisfied. That is a massive compliment.
That's been accomplished, bro. Thank you for all the gems. And when this drops, it's gonna get some love, bro. I'm more than happy for that, bro. I'm more than happy. But guys, of course, I'll be plugging Julius's Twitter beneath of course, he hasn't got anything to sell you yet. So please don't be inside his DMs asking for a consultation or like a link to his landing page. When it drops, you'll find out. But right now, he just providing.
Yes, you will find out. It'll be everywhere.
Providing.
Once it drops, it'll be everywhere. Swear to God.
There we are. Julius, my bro. Once again, man, appreciate it, bro. It's been value packed. I'll message you on WhatsApp
100%.
shortly after, bro. And yeah, man, let's continue scaling these offers. Everyone,
yes, sir.
Any key takeaways, drop them inside the comments. Follow, of course, Julius. First link in the description. Follow my main fucking man. By the way, bro, I've got one question.
Yes.
This is away from direct response, right? When your Twitter bio,
Yes.
I see like a Slovakian flag. Are you like Slovakian?
Hey, vamos ver.
Bro, we drove from Budapest to Poland and we stopped off at Slovakia. I went to like an area called Poprad. It's like, wait, is that
Ježiš,
Slovakia?
Poprad. Yeah, no, that's Slovakia. Yeah. I was born in Slovakia, dude. Yeah, I was born in Slovakia. I was born there.
So you've got like Eastern European genes.
Yes, I'm literally half Eastern European. Yes, I'm half Slovak.
Hey man, bro, that's what I like. I
think that's why we connected, bro.
European. That's why we connected, bro. And there's something about Eastern Europeans, bro. They are fucking hustlers, bro.
Yes, fuck yes, and they're real too. That's the main thing. They're real and they're hustlers.
So fucking real, bro. Like even the way that I got brought up, right, bro? Like if I was in pain, my mom would tell me, bro, like you're not in fucking pain, go to school.
Stop being a bitch.
Stop being a bitch and go to school, bro.
Actually, no, it's man. I miss it. Bro, you're in Poland right now, right? Or Warsaw?
I'm in Lisbon right now. But you're gonna go back to Warsaw like sometime next year, bro. But bro, Warsaw is incredible, bro. Great civilization, safety. The government is great, bro. I'm assuming, bro, like
no immigrants. No immigrants. Well, that's what makes it so great.
Bro, maximum safety, maximum conversion rates.
I know. Maximum conversion.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I'm gonna come back to Europe soon, man.
Bro, when you come back from Europe, for sure, in person.
Oh yeah, dude, I'm gonna hit you up. Yes,
bro, undoubtedly, bro.
Oh, if we did an in-person shit.
Bro, that would fucking cook. Bro, how about we get to work with it?
Fuck. I'm not mad at that idea.
Bro,
I'm not mad at that idea. Bro, we and I'm sure we know people for like the panels and all that shit.
Bro, I could get like paid ads guys who spend their money. I can get like info marketers. I can get like enterprise guys, B2B. Let's say somewhere like central hotspot somewhere in like Eastern Europe potentially. Because like then it makes sense. Because then we can craft a story about like 2 Eastern European marketers come together and bring you an in-person mastermind in their home origin. Or some, I don't know, bro. Some sales argument. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be so good.
That'd be fucking fun. And then we get like a vodka and pierogi and shit.
Yeah. Let me think. Let's set something like that. I would like to do that like mid next year somewhere. Like I'd like to do something like that. I really would. I want to do something in person. It doesn't have to be fucking big. Like a mastermind, select group of people talking about specific problems. Yeah.
For sure, bro. 10, 15 people. Bro, we'll scheme on it on WhatsApp, bro. You know. But bro, once again, bro, I know I express my gratitude, bro, but this has been fucking sick, bro.
I appreciate your patience with me again. I appreciate your patience, dude, really. I appreciate that. I apologize for all that shit.
Bro, easy, bro. Yeah, like I'll drop this on like Friday or Saturday or so. Build up anticipation on the newsletter, Twitter, full community, IG.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, bro, man, like honestly, bro, like appreciate you, bro. Let's fucking get to work. And yeah, man, we'll scheme via 100%. WhatsApp, bro.
All right, man. I will see you then. I appreciate everything, dude. It was nice meeting you, brother. It was nice meeting you, dude. We'll text on
bro. Undoubtedly, bro. Let's fucking get it, bro.
Hell yeah.
Okay, bro.
I'll see you then, man. Peace.
Bye-bye.